the Oakland Raiders. Today's game is brought to you by Natural Light Beer. Taste is why you'll switch to Natural Light. By Mazda Cars and Trucks. The more you look, the more you like their outstanding value. By Sylvania, makers of Superset Color TV and a complete line of home entertainment products. And by Avis, trying harder. It's still the best way to do business. It's 61 degrees in Oakland, California. Beautiful sunny afternoon as the Kansas City Chiefs, in a three-way tie for first place in the Western Division of the AFC, take on the defending Super Bowl champion, Oakland Raiders. I'm Merle Herman along with George Coons, and this is the story in the Western Division. Kansas City, Denver, and San Diego. Oakland, a must-win today for the Oakland Raiders, and the Seattle Seahawks are still having lots and lots of problems. The Kansas City Chiefs will be kicking off. Oakland won the toss, elected to receive. Chester Willis, number 38, and Arthur Worthington, number 22. Worthington on the near side, ready to take the kickoff from Nick Lowry. And here we go. The Chiefs trying to make it two in a row over the Raiders this year. They won the previous meeting 27-0 2 weeks ago. Whittington from the 5. 20, 25, daylight, 30, 35. Can he do it? And he is finally pulled down by Nick Lowry, the man who kicked off in Kansas City territory at the 48-yard line. Arthur Whittington, a 47-yard return, his longest return to date, 23 yards, and the Oakland Raiders break big on the 48-yard line of Kansas City.
A super way to start a game for a team that's got to win. Whittington, you see a wall of blockers and a lane that he gets through, a diving try. He gets up there, you'll see number 8 at the top part of the screen, Lowry coming in. A typical kicker tackle, but he gets him out of down after a significant gain inside the 50-yard line of Kansas City right off the bat.
Mark Wilson on the draw to number 33, Kenny King, and he is all the way down to the 41-yard line, almost the 40-yard line of Kansas City before he is stopped by Jerry Plant at number 57, the left inside linebacker, and Gary Barbaro, number 26, who is the free safety. This is the Oakland backfield. Mark Wilson, his second start of the year, he's out of Brigham Young. Kenny King, a fine runner from Oklahoma. And the wide receivers, Cliff Branch, a world-class sprinter. He can still go and really burn it. Bradshaw and Ramsey, tremendous speed. 3 wide receivers. This is the handoff to Jensen. Jensen inside the 40, may have the first down at the 38-yard line. After a gain of 8, Jensen comes back with a gain of 2. Gary Spaney, number 59, makes the tackle, and we have a timeout to check for a measurement. Now the Oakland offensive line, led by Art Shell, by Kurt Marsh, who replaced Gene Upshaw at the starting left guard spot. And I think, George, that you've played against a few of these guys in your career, not this team, but the defensive unit that'll be coming on later on. You know about the personality of this Oakland Raider ball club.
Well, I know, too, that as a rookie, Kurt Marsh is going to have a long day today, trying to get in there and learn his position against some good people. Here you'll see the linebacking core, Whitney Paul playing defensive end and linebacker, defensive end on occasions, and now the offense coming up against the defense for another try.
2 tight ends in for Oakland, and on the slant to the 38, flag goes down. Derek Jensen carrying the ball. He may have picked up 2. Jerry Blanton, the linebacker from Kentucky, the third-year man, makes the tackle. And we have a penalty coming up against the Oakland Raiders. The referee today is Bob Frederick, as backs were in motion.
Illegal motion, number 16, offense.
Bob Frederick, the referee, and his associates, Lou Palazzi, Jerry Bergman, Bob Leaks, Bill Swanson, Ron Murphy, and Don Hakes. The ball is resting on the 43-yard line of Kansas City. It is third down at about 6. Mark Wilson to the air for the first time to Branch. Threw the ball a little bit behind him, but the ball was catchable.
The pass was intended for Cliff Branch.
Eric Harris, number 44, had the coverage. He's the right cornerback. So Mark Wilson is unsuccessful in his first attempt, and the punting unit will come on for the Oakland Raiders. And that will, of course, mean Ray Guy will be into the ball game. A score that Kansas City fans are tremendously interested in. Buffalo 9, Denver 7. They're in the fourth quarter. J.T. Smith Number 86 goes deep as Ray Guy, with a 47.1 punting average, gets ready to put it in the air.
This one helped his average too much, but he can put it down there and get it out of bounds and put Kansas City in a big hole if he hits it just right.
Kansas City going for the block. They do not get it. And Guy puts it out of bounds down around the 6 or 7 yard line. So Ray Guy, who was the number 1 draft choice, 36-yard kick. This will take a little bit off his average, but he talked about that, George. He said that as our offense gets better, my punting percentage is going to go down. What do you mean by that?
Well, obviously, if his offense moves the ball down the field farther, he'll have less distance to kick to get it down in a coffin corner situation or into the end zone. Here you see two facets of a kicker. Number 1, you see a man with great distance. Number 2, a man with accuracy who can put Kansas City on the 7-yard line in a tough position to start their first offensive play.
And it's Bill Kenny, number 9 at quarterback. Hadnot 48, Delaney, number 37 of the running backs. Joe Delaney, the sensational rookie, makes a dive for about a yard. That's about all he gets. Ted Hendricks, number 83, who blocked a field goal attempt last week by Tampa Bay with 8 seconds left to preserve a victory for the Oakland Raiders, their first in some time. They'd been shut out 3 weeks in a row. He makes the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 1, or rather 2nd and 9 after a gain of 1. And I think we're all anxious to see Joe Delaney.
Well, everybody's had nothing but good things to say about Delaney. He's a difference in the Kansas City offense. Here, wide receivers. There you see your offensive line, the most mature unit on the team, and 1 year more experience at this point than the Oakland Raiders offensive line, if you believe that, Merle.
2nd down 1, Hadnot and Delaney are the running back split, and there's a fumble, and the Raiders may have recovered. Johnny Robinson, number 68, number 57, Randy McClanahan in there, and the Chiefs get the first, or rather the Raiders get the first big break of the day as Robinson, the nose tackle, the rookie, and let's watch him, makes the recovery.
The most experienced man in the offensive line, Jack Rudnay, miscue with the quarterback. You see the scramble for the ball. Oakland has it on the 7-yard line of Kansas City, ready to go in for a score. Johnny Robinson, number 68 from Louisiana Tech, recovering that fumble.
And Mark Wilson, the first-round draft choice of 1980 for the Oakland Raiders. The starting quarterback today, starting his 2nd ball game, as Jim Plunkett has gone to the sideline. It is Wilson's job until he loses it. 1st and goal for Oakland. Wilson, touchdown. Morris Bradshaw. Gary Green, the left corner, had the coverage.
Morris Bradshaw.
Morris Bradshaw, number 4 draft choice from Ohio State, and the first Oakland touchdown.
Surprising they come out to throw the ball 1st down inside the 10, but he does. Bradshaw working against a good defensive back with a fine move there, catching the ball for the score. It's tough to come back from 7 down when the start of the game has just begun, or the start of the game has just occurred. But Kansas City better regroup, get this extra point over with, and see if they can get their offense back in motion.
Bob Chandler to hold for Chris Barr. Right through the middle, and Oakland takes the lead. 12 minutes and 34 seconds to go in the first quarter. And the Raiders, who are surprisingly a 3-point pick in this ball game, have jumped into the lead because of a Kansas City fumble.
Well, they said in the paper today it was a 2.5-point pick. Field advantage is a lot to do with that. When you take a look at the field, you folks at home will see the sodded-in area, which is just a little longer than an already long grass field. The groundskeeper did an excellent job getting the field ready for this game, and when you consider the fact that Kansas City has not played a regular season game on natural turf, they're going to have their hands full trying to cope with just, literally, Merle, tripping over the grass, because it is a little longer than they're used to, and Oakland has the advantage because they practiced on that a couple of days this week, where Kansas City practiced at home, did not practice at the stadium yesterday.
And that drive took 4 seconds. One play.
James Murphy is back deep for Kansas City.
Oakland to kick off.
Chris Barr will kick off.
James Murphy, number 80, is deep for Kansas City. Barr puts it in the air. It's going to come up short. James Murphy takes the Oakland kickoff. Murphy bangs his way out to the 35-yard line. And Kansas City will have the ball 1st down at its own 35. And we welcome those of you who have been watching the Denver-Buffalo game, which Buffalo won by a score of 9-7, and Oakland has quickly scored on Kansas City here in the first period. And here's what happened. The Oakland Raiders recovered a Kansas City fumble on the 6-yard line, and Mark Wilson immediately hit Morris Bradshaw for a touchdown pass, and Oakland jumped in front, and now Kansas City is trying to get it going here on the 35-yard line with 12 minutes and 23 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Hadnot takes the handoff. Hadnot gets maybe a yard, and that's about all. Stopped by Matt Miller, number 55, the inside linebacker on the right side. Hadnot, who is in his second year out of Texas Tech, getting a yard and no more. It'll be second down 9 as Kansas City trails it 7-0 here in the first quarter.
Kansas City, again, at the short end of the stick right now. You see the ball on the 6-yard line after a fumble recovery, a touchdown pass. Mark Wilson to number 81, Bradshaw, there going against Gary Green, and that's how Oakland got on the scoreboard very early in the game.
It is second down 9. Bill Kenny at quarterback for Kansas City. Slot to the right. This is Delaney trying to get to the outside, and he can't. He is forced out of bounds at the 40-yard line by Otis McKinney, number 23, who is the strong safety, the 4-year veteran from the University of Colorado. So the Kansas City Chiefs in a 3-way tie going into the action today in the Western Division of the AFC. Of course, the Chiefs, when they hear that score that Buffalo has beaten Denver, will have a little extra incentive today as we study Bill Kenny, the quarterback, in his 3rd year out of Northern Colorado. It's a nickel defense now for the Oakland Raiders. James Murphy and Stan Rome have joined the wide receiver corps, and here we go on 3rd down and 5. Pitch goes to Joe Delaney as Kenny and Delaney freelance a play to the 44-yard line. Dwayne Osteen, number 35, the right cornerback, in to make the tackle. That would be short of a first down if the play stands. Dwayne Osteen, who is a 4-year veteran from San Jose State. Joe Delaney is down, and that could really be a disaster for the Kansas City Chiefs, if it's any kind of a serious injury at all. Joe Delaney, who reminds a lot of people of Walter Payton in the early days of Payton's career. He's a number 2 draft pick out of Northwest Louisiana. He's the first Chief to run for 100 or more yards in 3 consecutive games, and he has done that in the last 3. 101 against New England, 106 against Oakland, 149 against Denver last week. And that 149 yards of a week ago is the most that any Kansas City back has rushed for since 1968, when the late Robert Holmes stacked up 158 yards against Cincinnati. So Joe Delaney, one of the most talked about young running backs in a long, long time, walking a little easier now. Let's pick up the penalty.
Offensive holding.
Brad Buddy, number 66, guilty of the offensive hold. Marv Levy, the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, who has guided his team to a 5-2 record.
3rd and 15.
Billy Jackson, number 43, has come into the lineup for Kansas City, replacing Joe Delaney. Marv Levy in his 4th year with the Kansas City Chiefs finally has put it together. Off to the best start since 1971. Penalty takes the ball back to the 30-yard line. It is 3rd down and 15 for the Chiefs.
You know, that's 2 bad breaks right off the bat. Number 1, a fumble inside the 10, and number 2, a man who's been the difference in the Kansas City offense. Delaney going down with an injury to his left ankle. Let's hope it's not serious. We'd all like to see him get a shot at going for his 400-yard game.
Oakland goes to a 4-man front. And look at this, will you? Talk about a team that is keyed up. The Raiders are really keyed up. They beat Tampa Bay last week, 18-16, after being shut out for 3 consecutive weeks. Almost an unbelievable situation here in Oakland.
You know, the ball club, again, not used to being on the losing end of the season, as we hear the call from the official. They are jacked up for this game. They want to get going. We're going to show you again the play where Delaney took that ankle injury. You see quarterback number 9, Kenny, coming back. As he starts to scramble, number 90, Jones, comes in from the outside as Getty tries to push him past. He ad-libs a little, underhands it to Delaney, who's right there. But all of a sudden, as he runs downfield, he tries to get that stiff arm. Defensive man Osteen gets over and lands on his left ankle, which is where the problem was. Delaney slow in getting up and on the sideline now with medical attention being paid to him.
And the report is twisted ankle, but he is expected to get back into the lineup today. 3rd down and 10 for Kansas City. The Chiefs trail by 7. That's Marshall in motion. Kenny looks for Marshall, incomplete in the midfield stripe. The coverage by Monty Jackson, number 42, who has beaten Dwayne Osteen out of the job at the right cornerback spot, the 7-year veteran from San Diego State. And Bob Grupp in the punting unit will come on for the Chiefs, as the Chiefs will have to give up the football. So Bill Kenny, who fired a 64-yard touchdown pass to Marshall last week against Denver, just trying to get the first down on the far side, but they misfired incomplete. Bob Grupp, who has a 39.5 punting average. Ted Watts, the rookie from Texas Tech, back to receive the punt here in the first quarter. 11:25 to go. Grupp sends it to Watts at the 23. And he is forced out of bounds on the 29-yard line. Chased out of bounds by Todd Thomas, number 62. That's a kick of 42 yards, a return of 6, and we'll be back right after this message.
What's more natural than spicy hot food and icy cold beer? What's more natural than Natural Light from Anheuser-Busch? It's the beer with a taste for food. So, when you want to put out the fire,
what's more natural than Natural Light?
Germany, home of Volkswagen. What's a Mazda GLC doing here? Making a point about outstanding value in an economy car. Because while the sophisticated GLC offers the performance, economy, and versatility you expect in a front-wheel drive economy car, it offers it at a price you most certainly don't expect. The more you look at some of the finest economy cars in the world, the more you like the 1982 Mazda GLC.
The Raiderettes in Oakland, and that's where we are at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. I'm Merle Herman with George Coons, and the Oakland Raiders have the ball just shy of their own 30-yard line with Mark Wilson at quarterback. Wilson, who fired for a touchdown on his last play, goes to Cliff Branch on the far side at the 42, possibly the 43. Eric Harris, number 44, has him out of bounds, but it is a first down for the Oakland Raiders. The gain of 11.
You know, he does have a lot of time to throw, and Wilson, as he steps back, you see great protection by the offensive line. No problem. As he looks, finally, he looks again to his left. The receiver coming back, and you have a chance to do that when you get a lot of time to throw the ball. Eric Harris, a very good quarterback over there to cover, but with a lot of time, it's a little easier for a receiver to get loose.
Steve Sylvester over the ball at center. Marsh and Marvin to the guard. Shell and Lawrence to the tackles. The running play goes to Derek Jensen. He's across the 40 to the 45, to the 47, where Mike Bell, number 99, the defensive right end, makes the stop for the Kansas City Chiefs. That Kansas City defensive line is a tough one.
It is a tough one. It's an unbelievably tough, young defensive line. If they're going to run, if Oakland is going to run, they're making it a point right now to try the right side of the line, going against number 71, Lindstrom. That was a slight cutback, and Bell picked up the play from the backside. Let's see if Oakland keeps going right when they run.
2nd and 6. Bradshaw got the football. Bradshaw had the first down easily. Gary Green had the coverage. The number 1 draft choice 5 years ago from Baylor. So Bradshaw, who scored the touchdown on the pass reception, dropped that one. And Buffalo defeated Denver 9-7 on a field goal. That makes this game even more important. New England, Washington. New England will be here next week. That game is in the 4th quarter. New England down by 2. And Baltimore, Cleveland, what a wild scoring game that is. Brian Sipe has 4 touchdown passes. Tampa losing today. And now we go to 3rd down and 7 for the Oakland Raiders. Bob Chandler in the ball game. Chandler missing 7, and the reception is made by Derek Ramsey, number 84. Gary Green makes the tackle at the 36-yard line. Whitney Paul, number 53, in there also. A 17-yard pickup to Ramsey at a first down for the Oakland Raiders, who lead by a score of 7-0. Let's check other scores coming in now. Many of the games are complete. In an overtime contest, the Giants in Atlanta. The Giants were leading in that game. They have now come back to tie it, Atlanta has. How about this one? St. Louis upsetting Minnesota, a team that leads the Central Division. Only 1 loss for the Vikings so far this year. Detroit leading Green Bay in the 4th quarter as the Lions are trying to win their 2nd game this week. How about this one for a surprise? The Saints 10-0 in the fourth quarter over Cincinnati. First down, Oakland. Play fake. Wilson being pursued. Wilson gets it away. It's incomplete. Derek Ramsey, 84, the closest receiver, but he was about 10 yards away from the football. Gary Green, 24. Whitney Paul, 53, had the coverage in the area, but it wasn't even close.
That particular play, again, Kansas City not getting the pressure on the Oakland quarterback. They decided to blitz their linebackers. If they keep doing it, look for Wilson to dump more to his backs and not to his tight end and to Bob Chandler, who was just in the game a minute ago, down the middle. So look for those passes to the backs if the linebackers keep blitzing from Kansas City.
Second down, 10 on the 36 of the Chiefs. They're down by 7. Oakland scored in 4 seconds after recovering a fumble on the 6. Whittington now the tailback. Whittington playing a block. Whittington inside the 35 and the 33. Morris Bradshaw gave him a little bit of a block right on the sideline. Gary Barbaro, the all-pro safety, number 26, who roams everywhere, made the tackle. He has 4 interceptions for his career, this year, 35 for his career. He is one of the premier defensive backs in pro football today. Gary Barbaro from Nicholls State.
He looks almost like a linebacker that needs to gain a little bit of weight, but at 6'4" and 210, he's perfect to play center field for the defense.
It is now third down, about 8. The ball at the 33. Jensen and King are the running backs for Oakland. And a whistle stops play for a moment. We have 9 minutes left to go in the first quarter. The Raiders leading by a score of 7-0 after recovering a fumble on the Chiefs' 6-yard line, and Wilson immediately hitting Bradshaw for a touchdown. Wilson is 6'6", 205 pounds. Became the number 1 quarterback in the last 10 minutes of the first Kansas City game 2 weeks ago and started last week against Tampa Bay. They reset the clock. That was the delay. Picked off and dropped. Oh, a great opportunity by number 34, Lloyd Burris. He had that ball. He just couldn't hang on to it. He's a rookie from Maryland. Might have gotten a little too excited. Derek Ramsey was the intended receiver.
What a young quarterback will do is pick one receiver and work to him regardless. The coverage wasn't that bad. The ball was not well thrown. Burris was in position to almost pick it off. Wilson should not have thrown to Ramsey in that position, but a young quarterback will look in one spot only before he learns to pick up his secondary receivers.
It is fourth down, 7. Ray Guy will punt for Oakland. J.T. Smith will be the deep back. Let's see what Guy, he's going to go for the right sideline, it would appear. And that shows you how much we know about it. He goes the other way, inside the 10-yard line on the far side of the field. Let's see where they mark that one. They're going to mark it at the 12 and not inside the 10. Kansas City will take over its own 12 with 8:48 to go in the first quarter. The Chiefs lead 7-0.
Deaf people can't hear, but they can work. Blind people can't see, but they can work. There are over 15 million disabled Americans with the ability to work. For the past 40 years, we've learned that being disabled hardly stops anyone from doing quality work.
Here's my report.
15 million disabled Americans who can help your business like they're helping ours.
With Valvoline Motor Oil, you can save up to 10 bananas every time you change your own oil and filter. Valvoline's formulated to help prevent oil breakdown and heat buildup. Even in today's high-revving engines, you're not only getting tough engine protection from a top-quality motor oil, you're saving money, too. Now, that's a Valvoline double feature you just can't afford to pass up. Valvoline, when you want to do it yourself.
Only 4 days left till the season premiere of Hill Street Blues on NBC.
The series that swept the Emmys premieres Thursday, October 29th.
Well, George, for the second time, Ray Guy has put the Kansas City Chiefs deep in their own territory to start an offensive surge, as they hoped. The last time they fumbled the ball and Oakland scored.
Well, Kansas City has got to come out of the hole. A young ball club has got to mature at one time or another. They're down now, and Oakland has had the experience. Let's see if Kansas City can muster it, get going, and get a drive together, which is what they dearly need at this particular time.
Bill Kenny at quarterback for Kansas City. Marshall was the intended receiver. The former Missouri star, Monty Jackson, 42, the right cornerback, had the coverage. And for Kansas City fans, Joe Delaney is back in the lineup for the Chiefs. I did not see a flag, but I think there might have been one thrown somewhere.
42, first down.
I did not see the flag drop, but I'm not surprised that a defensive pass interference call was logged against Monty Jackson, number 42, who covered the play. Let's look at it.
Well, we're looking at Monty Jackson as we go into the next play. Nobody saw a flag up here. The call by the official was made without one.
Kenny on the pitch. Kenny going to Hadnot. Hit behind the line. Knocked out of bounds just about at the line of scrimmage by Rod Martin, number 53, the right linebacker, a 5-year man out of USC. James Hadnot from Texas Tech. Martin, you might remember in the Super Bowl, intercepted 3 passes. And he said, you know, defensive guys really don't get much recognition. Maybe this will give me some. I would say 3 interceptions in the Super Bowl would.
Well, if he really wants to ignore recognition, let him play in the offensive line. Believe me, they're the last people that they start talking about.
Second down, 10. Jackson and Hadnot in the setbacks. Delaney is out of there. No, that is Delaney. Delaney at the 35, the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Matt Millen, 55, the inside linebacker, joined by the left side inside linebacker, Randy McClanahan, to make the stop. That's Matt Millen, who is out of Penn State, one of the famous Penn State linebackers. They must have had, 12, 14 of them in the last 10 years out of Penn State?
Yeah, they call him a linebacker, but it's 6'2 and 255. He can play defensive line, and he's been doing that for this first quarter. He hits up in there hard to fill the right defensive side to help Browning out. The right defensive side of Oakland is where Kansas City is working and where they gained a majority of their yardage the last time Kansas City played and beat Oakland.
Oakland's going to the nickel defense on 3rd down and 10. Lester Hayes playing J.T. Smith. The pass is to Smith, incomplete on the 30. Lester Hayes came up to play almost at the line of scrimmage with J.T. Smith, and he dogged him all the way down the field. So Kenny will make way now for the punting unit led by Bob Grupp. Lester Hayes last year had 13 pass interceptions. So far, 1 this year.
Yeah, well, a lot of people really aren't throwing at him. He got beat twice last week, once by House for a touchdown. He's having not as good a year as he did last year, but he's still a competitive ball player, and he's looking to help his team climb back out of what he considers to be the cellar.
Bob Grupp did not get a good kick away, so he dropped that ball to the foot. However, Watts at the 30 brings it back. Watts gets to the 40. Hendricks trying to help him out a little bit. Hendricks almost grabbed him and threw him about the last 2 or 3 yards at the 44.
Somebody has to tell Ted that's a little bit illegal. But when you get down there in a position and set up to get a block, sometimes your runners will get into you, and as a result, you don't get exactly what you need in terms of helping them run. Right back after this message.
The Black Forest, where Porsches stretch out and run. What's a Mazda RX-7 doing here? Making a point about outstanding value in a sports car. Because while the RX-7 offers the performance, economy, and sophistication you expect in a true fine sports car, it offers it at a price you most certainly don't expect. The more you look at some of the finest sports cars in the world, the more you like the 1982 Mazda RX-7.
What's more natural than pasta and beer? Ah, what's more natural than natural light from Anheuser-Busch? The beer with a taste for food. It's natural and it's light. So when you want to leave room for more...
What's more natural than Natural Light?
Here you see Watts taking the ball upfield, and as he turns up, you see his blockers coming back to try to help. Here he makes it through 2 Kansas City defenders, and Ted Hendricks comes to the right side of your picture trying to help. Did not expect Watts to get through, and as a result, helps him any way he can. Throws him out of bounds for Kansas City.
At the 44, Mark Wilson and company. Kenny King, the former Oklahoma star, across the 45 to about the 48-yard line. Gary Spaney, also a Big 8 star out of Kansas State, number 59, the inside linebacker for Kansas City. And Don Parrish, 61, the nose tackle, make the stop for the Chiefs. The ball at the 48-yard line. after a gain of 3, second down 7.
Once again, Oakland making no bones about it, working Lindstrom and Paul. Paul was playing the other linebacker spot, was beat out by Jackson. As a result, went to the left side, and Oakland is working that side.
Derek Jensen pounds his way across the midfield stripe to the 49-yard line of the Chiefs. And now it'll be a third down and about 2 coming up. Dave Lindstrom, 71, the defensive left end, makes the stop.
3rd and 3.
You know, Bell, number 99, is working against Art Shell. They're not running at him so much. He's keeping good lateral position up on the line of scrimmage. Art with a great block on him takes it down that side, but Bell not getting blown out, holding his ground, allowing pursuit to get to the runner.
Branch to the left, Bradshaw to the right. Wilson. And it is incomplete, out of bounds. He is now 3 out of 8 for 36 yards and 1 touchdown. And it'll bring up 4th down and 3 for the Oakland Raiders. Bradshaw, the intended receiver. So Mark Wilson, the second-year man from BYU, so-so here in the first half. In this first period, actually, we have 6:23 to go in the first quarter. But it is Wilson's job. Going back deep is J.T. Smith for the Kansas City Chiefs to take the Ray Guy punt. Guy on his 3rd punt of the day. This will be his longest one. Todd Christensen is in there for the long snap for the Oakland Raiders. Guy pops it toward the sideline and gets a great roll, but it did go out of bounds. It looked like the ball did not go out of bounds, but the official right there on the sideline saw it very, very close, and the ball is out of bounds inside the 15 at the 14. And with 6:16 to go in the first quarter, the Raiders have a 7-0 lead.
Dr. 57.
New Backwoods Smokes just hit town. Looking wild, but tasting mild.
New Backwoods Smokes. How can anything that looks so wild taste so mild? New Backwoods Smokes. How can anything that looks so wild taste so mild?
New Backwoods Smokes. All natural tobacco, hand-rolled look in a keep 'em fresh pocket pouch.
How can anything that looks so wild taste so mild?
Dear Atari Anonymous, my son Boris has a missile command problem.
My mission in life is to save all of mankind.
Lately, my daughter has developed a similar problem with Atari warlords. Now with video pinball, my husband is acting funny lately. With Atari games so ingenious, so involving, so intense, I ask you, Atari Anonymous, is this problem contagious?
He's punched his way to the top with devastating power. The man is hungry and he wants more. Be there when Johnny Bump City Bumpus steps into the ring against defending champion Willie Rodriguez for the USBA Junior Welterweight Championship. Live next Saturday on NBC Sports World.
Sports World coming up next Saturday right here on NBC. Johnny Bumpus. Well, we all followed him through his Golden Gloves career. Now it's Kansas City's football at the 14-yard line. The Chiefs are down by 7. Hadnot, the fullback, bangs his way to about the 18. Johnny Robinson, 68, the nose tackle. Matt Millen, 55, the linebacker, stopped the play for the silver and black, who are 3-4 for the year. And George Coons, it's almost like a repeat of last year by Oakland. Nobody thought they were going anywhere. They were off to a slow start. And all of a sudden, they won 13 out of 15 and were in the Super Bowl.
Well, you just can't count Oakland out. They do it some way or another. They do it. That's the history of the franchise. 16 winning seasons in a row. They just keep doing it when people think they're out.
Joe Delaney to the 20, the rookie from Northwest Louisiana. Talk about a guy who can fly. Matt Millen and Rod Martin, the linebackers on the right side, make the tackle. Joe Delaney is second only to Earl Campbell in rushing in the AFC. Coming into this game, Campbell 784 yards, Delaney 567. And we have a Kansas City Chief down. Matt Herkenhoff, I believe, the left tackle, who has had a problem with a left knee. I don't know if it's the left knee this time or not.
Well, he had knee surgery last year. I certainly hope it isn't another knee problem. Matt worked very hard coming into camp this year with the rookies, trying to get ready for this. You can see him talking to the trainers.
St. Louis defeated Minnesota 30.
Now he's getting up. He looks like he's all right. taking his time getting off the field. Here are the scores, Merle.
Buffalo a winner with 1 second left, 9-7. Mickemeyer, the field goal. And New England and Washington. Washington a winner by 2. Cleveland over Baltimore. Big day for Brian Sipe. And Philadelphia beating Tampa Bay. New York Giants and Atlanta in overtime. St. Louis, an upset over Minnesota. And Detroit, a win over Green Bay, as the Packers continue to have lots and lots of problems. Detroit, a winner Monday night, scoring 48 points against the Chicago Bears. Bill Kenny at quarterback. He is 6'4", 210 pounds. 3rd and 4 from the 20. Trying to get a block on the corner, and it's not there. Covering the play, Rod Martin, the outside linebacker. He actually lost a couple of yards. So Oakland has really been after Joe Delaney. They're keying on him.
You know, older pros, sometimes people say they don't have that attitude anymore. Here you see Ted Hendricks pursuing from the backside of a play as he gets ready and in position. It goes down. You can see he's happy to have that thing stop. Wants his Oakland team to get back on the track. He and John Matuzak, number 72, reading their defensive cohorts, saying we got to do it again.
It is Bob Drupp for his 3rd punt, and Watts is deep for Oakland. Watts, a great sprinter out of Texas Tech. Let's see what he can do with the ball from his own 40. Not much. The special teams of Kansas City covering well at the 43-yard line.
Ted Watts with a 4-yard.
A 42-yard punt, a 3-yard return, and we have 4:16 to go in the first quarter in Oakland, and the Raiders are leading the Chiefs by 7-0.
Are you really a chief?
Yeah. Yes, he's a chief, all right. He's Gary Green, a star of the NFL's Kansas City Chiefs. But here at the YMCA, he's simply a parent concerned about his child.
I take my daughter to the YMCA. I've seen firsthand their programs. As a United Way volunteer, I know that when we support the United Way, we're making the work of the YMCAs possible. These programs for preschoolers and senior citizens alike help the people who need the help the most. Whatever your interest, whoever you are, there's a place for you at the YMCA. I think we all would like to be the kind of people who care about others who are less fortunate than we are. That's why I like the idea of the United Way. When you give, you know you're being fair to the people who really need you most. Thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. Chester Willis is now in as a running back for the Oakland Raiders. First down on the Raider 43, Mark Wilson at quarterback. And it is Chester Willis being nailed at the 40-yard line for a loss of 3 by Ken Kramer, number 91, the nose tackle, out of Ball State. And we thank you very much for the reception here. Now let's go to New York for an update.
All right, Merle Harmon in Atlanta. The Giants have just upset the Falcons. Joe Danello, 5:40 left in the overtime, makes good from 40 yards out, and the Giants go to 5-3, beating the 4-4 Falcons 27-24. Merle?
My goodness, Brian, but we've got some crazy scores today. Here's Wilson. And Wilson to the near side. It is caught, and he is in bounds. That is Arthur Whittington on the 45-yard line of Kansas City, and a first down for the Oakland Raiders. Whitney Paul, the left linebacker, had the coverage on the play, and it's a first down for Oakland.
Just a great catch by Whittington. You see once again the quarterback, Kansas City blitzing. They're sending in the right linebacker now. Wilson taking his time, looking for that secondary receiver. He sees Whittington on the side, barely in bounds, keeps his feet in, goes out with a first down.
A gain of 15. First down on the 45. This is Willis hit behind the line. Almost got back to the line of scrimmage by Gary Spaney, the linebacker, coming from the right side. Spaney is one of the really great ones in the National Football League. Leads the Chiefs in tackles and defensive points. 4-year man out of Kansas State.
And he's a heady ball player too, Merle. Spaney saw Marsh, number 60, pulling the left guard. filled that hole and came in behind and made the tackle from behind.
How about this score? The Chicago Bears over San Diego 7-0, and the Chargers are the NFL's top scoring team, averaging more than 33 points a game. Second down. The draw. Jensen at the 42 of Kansas City. Mike Bell, number 99 from Colorado State, makes the stop. You know, the Chiefs defense has been coming up with the big plays all year. I just wonder how good this Kansas City defense would be if Bell and Lindstrom, or rather Bell and Still, could get in the lineup at the same time.
Well, Lindstrom's not playing that badly, Merle, but again, Art Still is a team leader. He's a ball player with a lot of class. Gives these guys a lift when he's in there. Bell is coming on. They have a bookend pair of ends. People say in a few years that Bell will be almost as good as Still, if not as good.
Kansas City in a nickel defense on 3rd down 7. Look at the time that Wilson has. He hits his man in the 31. Derek Ramsey, number 84, the tight end. Charles Jackson, the linebacker, was right there to tag him. But it's a gain of 11 and a first down. So Mark Wilson, who is getting all kinds of time to throw that football, has a first down at the Kansas City 31, and Oakland leads it 7-0.
You made a great point right there with all kinds of time, Earl. The offensive line of Oakland is giving Wilson a lot of time. Kansas City, again, consistently to this point now, blitzing a backer. The offensive line picking it up. The receivers coming back to make the catches.
Hand off to Derek Jensen. Jensen around the left side, inside the 30 to the 28, possibly the 27. And Gary Spaney, number 59, gathered him in after a short gain. Spaney, a very busy man this afternoon. He's busy about every ball game. 2nd and 6 coming up.
Barbaro over here taking a look at what a free safety does is play center field. When he sees that run developing, he's got to get up and get in the middle of a tackle. Here he watches as a couple of his friends get there first. Barbaro ready to help out in case he's needed, filling as a free safety should.
Raiders on the march with a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. Again, Wilson with too much time. Throws it over the middle, intended for Morris Bradshaw.
The pass is incomplete.
So that stops the clock with 1:06 left to go in the first quarter. Eric Harris, 44, and Whitney Paul, 53, had the coverage as Wilson drilled that ball. And it is 3rd down for the Oakland Raiders. 3rd down and 7.
You know, he had more time there, Merle, than I think he did in the last couple of passes, and possibly just couldn't believe it. Went out there, tried to lead his man, and just effectively overthrew him.
Bell, Kramer, and Lindstrom up front right now. Bob Chandler in the ball game for the Oakland Raiders. Whittington and Jensen are the setbacks. 5 decent defensive backs for the Chiefs. And badly thrown to Derek Ramsey, the tight end. Apparently something broke out of the pattern. Lloyd Burris, 34, the strong safety, the rookie from Maryland, had the coverage, and it's 4th down coming up for the Oakland Raiders.
You know, at that time, it was man-on-man coverage in the secondary. The Chiefs shot all 4 linebackers and tried to get to Wilson. It's a good chance to see what your receivers can do man-on-man against the defensive secondary of Kansas City. Kansas City's defensive secondary giving good coverage to the Chiefs. As a result, the pass going incomplete.
Chris Barr will try a 45-yard field goal attempt, and Bob Chandler is holding for him. Chandler, who had his spleen removed, is wearing a flak jacket. Barr's kick has the distance. It is off to the right. And so the Chiefs will take over the football at the line of scrimmage, and Matt Barr is now 4 out of 10 this year in the field goal department. I beg your pardon, Chris Barr. Matt and Chris, the Barr family, and of course their father is their coach at Penn State. Next Sunday, join host Bryant Gumbel for NFL 81. All the highlight scores and late breaking news from all the games. Then regional NFL action featuring 2 crucial AFC division games, Houston against Cincinnati. Kansas City will be at San Diego, so check your local listings for the game and time in your area next Sunday on NFL 81. Kansas City with its 5th possession. Kenny with some time to throw. He's gone for Henry Marshall. Marshall makes his move all the way down to the 30-yard line. He might be inside the 30 unless he stepped out of bounds. Lester Hayes had the coverage. Burgess Owens was back there, and the ball will be put down at the 29-yard line of the Oakland Raiders, a 44-yard pickup.
Okay, Kenny stepping back, looking downfield after a play fake. His back's picking up the blitzers, which gives him time. Henry Marshall on a crossing pattern gets a great pass. That's a super pass right in the spot. Not bad protection, not bad coverage, but again, Marshall catching it, going downfield with a saving tackle by 2 covering defensive backs. Big play for Kansas City, and that's what they're consistently getting from their offense now.
Marshall had a 64-yard touchdown pass thrown to him by Kenny last week. Joe Delaney, look at this little guy pound his way to the 25-yard line. He's 5'10", 184, the rookie from Northwest Louisiana. He is tackled by Johnny Robinson, and we've come to the end of the first quarter. After a 5-yard pickup, when we open the second quarter, it'll be second down and 5, and the Raiders lead 7-0.
Well, we've got a nifty car, and we're gonna hit the road every day. Pontiac J car, Pontiac J. With the radio blast, and we'll be cruising just as far as we can. Pontiac J car, J2000. You can come along with us, cause we got a lot of things to do. Pontiac J car, and we'll have fun, cause we're driving in our Pontiac J. Fun, cause we're driving in our Pontiac J. Fun,
Pontiac, now the excitement begins.
Whoa, little fella, where do you think you're going? We're gonna get you back to your mama.
There you go.
We got them off. That means it's Miller time. Come on, I'm buying.
Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, Miller's got the beer.
When this young executive bought a house, he looked in towns where the commuter trains were reliable. Smart. And when he bought a new car, he researched resale prices on the model he wanted. Smart. And today, he's placing the biggest order for plain paper copiers in his company's history. He chose Savin, the company with an extensive product line and the largest service network in the industry. Smart.
The Kansas City Chiefs ready to go in the second quarter here in Oakland. Merle Herman and George Coons with you. Here are the stats for the first quarter. You know, the Raiders have given up only one touchdown and 9 points in any first quarter this year.
Well, he certainly helped their record with his first quarter.
First down, Kansas City on the Raider 25. Check that, second down. And it's Joe Delaney down around the 22. He got about 2, possibly 3. Matt Millen and Johnny Robinson. The linebacker and the nose tackle stopped the play. It's like there's a little extracurricular activity going on.
Looks
down
like
there.
Millen is having a good time right now. Again, Millen filling that linebacker right in the hole. Millen's got a read on somebody in the offensive line, and he's filling up there just a split second before the snap comes. Oakland is paying Kansas City a compliment when Millen does that. You see Delaney here in some of his stats. They're saying that we've got to send another man up there to stop your rushing game, and that's what they're trying to do.
On third down, 3, the blitz is on. Rod Martin coming from the outside. Nails Bill Kinney for a long loss back to the 33-yard line. So Martin was coming from the blind side. Kinney didn't have time to set up at all. And the ball is put down on the 32.
Yeah, this is what a quarterback fears the most. Sitting down there if you're right-handed with your back to a rushing man coming in from your backside. Rod Martin, number 53, 6'2", 215, a swift linebacker and a big play man, just made another big play.
From a third down 3, the Chiefs go to a fourth down and 13, a loss of 10. Here is what's happening, what has happened in quarterback sacks. And Oakland, as you see, is right up there, number 1. It'll be a 50-yard field goal attempt now by Nick Lowry. And he is just a little bit short. Lowry is now 1 out of 5 in the 50-plus category. He just missed on that one. So we have a timeout in Oakland with 13:41 to go in the first half. The Raiders lead the Chiefs by a score of 7-0.
Head and Shoulders doesn't have it. Selsun Blue doesn't have it. Only Denerex has it. An extra relief medicine to stop dandruff itch. You can feel it tingle.
All 3 have one medicine for dandruff itch, but only Denerex adds a second medicine, an exclusive anti-itch medicine many dermatologists recommend.
You can feel it tingle. That's extra relief medicine, and only Denerex has it.
In regular or New Mountain Fresh Herbal, Denerex stops dandruff itch with an extra relief medicine.
Deadline, Saturday, October 31st at Sears. Weatherwise radial tires are on sale. Sears Best all-season steel-belted radial. Now save 25%. Deadline, Saturday, October 31st at Sears. The Sears Die Hard battery is on sale, now with even more power than ever before. Only $54.99 with trade-in. Save $15. For great automotive values, you can count on Sears.
It's the Battle of the Big Apple when Richard Todd and the New York Jets take on the New York Giants. A showdown for bragging rights in New York City. Plus, Brian Snipe keys the battling Browns against the Buffalo Bills. And Captain Fouts pilots Air Coryell against Kansas City next Sunday.
We have 13 minutes, 41 seconds left to play in the first half, and the Oakland Raiders have the football again at their own 32-yard line. Steve Sylvester comes up over the ball. The guards are Kurt Marsh, Mickey Marvin. The tackles are Chell, Henry Lawrence, the tight end, Derek Ramsey, 84. And the running back, the tailback, is Kenny King, who just took the handoff. Moved out across the 35-yard line for a 4-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 6. And Dino Mangiero, number 74. Dave Lindstrom, number 71, in on the stop. It'll be 2nd down 6 for the Oakland Raiders. Cliff Branch, number 21, splits wide to the left. Going to the right is Morris Bradshaw, number 81. 7-0 Oakland in the second quarter. Mark Wilson at quarterback. Jensen. And Jensen stopped shy of the 40 at the 39 by Charles Jackson, the right outside linebacker, and Lloyd Burris, the rookie strong safety from the University of Maryland. Not too much on that one. 3rd down and 3.
You know, Oakland is great as we look at Art Shell, number 78 here. Oakland is great at sizing up personnel and going for mismatches. Number 74, Dino Mangiero from Kansas City, is now on Art Shell. Mangiero replacing Mike Bell for a while. Oakland seeing that, going right to Shell's block on Mangiero to see if they can get some yardage.
3rd down 3. Wilson going for the bomb for Branch. Inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Eric Harris and Gary Barbaro were back there, and you saw Branch haul it in for 53 yards.
Mark Wilson doing what he did at BYU here in Oakland, throwing the ball. Cliff Branch, some people ask if Branch has lost a step. He has 2 on Eric Harris, number 44, a young defensive back. Barbaro has to watch as Branch takes the ball out of bounds in his frustration, trying to get in, throws it, the ball goes in the stands.
1st down and goal in the 8th for the Oakland Raiders, who lead by 7-0. Bradshaw to the right, Branch to the left. Wilson, who broke 11 records at BYU, goes to Kenny King, and King is down at about the 6-yard line. Mike Bell cut his feet out from under him. It'll be 2nd down and goal to go.
Once again, Coach Levy seeing that Oakland's getting down on the goal line situations, putting in his people who can best stop the run. Every time Oakland tries to throw the ball down in here, their receivers don't have the yardage to work with in the end zone. As a result, they may try another running play before they go to the pass down this close.
And the Chiefs are number 1 in the AFC against the run. The draw, King at the 5, King at about the 3, 3rd down goal to go. Barbaro came up there. Dave Lindstrom, 71, Don Perry, 61, and Barbaro, 26.
3rd and 3 coming up. Wilson's got to be thinking pass. It's got to be a little tight for his receivers. So look for those out patterns and those little short patterns on slants in over the middle. If Wilson can hit one of those, Oakland can score. If not, they'll try the field goal.
And Oakland goes to 3 tight ends, Ramsey, Chester, and Christensen.
Christensen's got great hands for a tight end, number 46.
This is Christensen setting on the wing to the left. Wilson on the roll. Touchdown. Well, they sent Christensen on the corner left for blocking, and Wilson, if you want to call it a naked reverse, okay, but he went out there unmolested.
Wilson sent the whole flow of his team to the left side, running at Bell, then decided he'd take the ball in a rollout. As we get the replay here, Wilson running off the field, the fan support. Again, everything going left. He comes out naked. He has a 2-way option here. Raymond Chester, number 88, is out of the picture. Wilson knows he can either run or pass. When he sees that Chester is covered, all he has to do is fake out the linebacker. He's in for the score.
And that's his first touchdown on the run as a pro. As Chris Parr adds the extra point, we have 11 minutes and 9 seconds to go in the first half. And the Oakland Raiders, who were ruled a 3-point favorite in this game, have a 14-0 lead.
For the past 4 years, the Sylvania Superset has beaten RCA and Zenith in an independent test for best overall color picture.
What about Sony?
And now, for the 5th time, more people once again picked the 19-inch Sylvania Superset over RCA and Zenith for best color picture.
What about Sony?
And this year, we even tested against Sony and won. The Sylvania Superset.
When you've got somewhere you have to go, Pontiac believes you might as well have a little fun while you're getting there. That's the whole idea behind our new 1982 Pontiac Grand Prix LJ. With its new 4-barrel V6 power, available bucket seats, and handsome instrument panel, this Grand Prix is so exciting, you may not want to leave it when you get there.
Do we have to go in?
Let's not.
Pontiac. Now the excitement begins.
Our cameras have followed his remarkable boxing career since the very beginning. Be ringside when Johnny Bump City Bumpus steps into the ring for the USBA Junior Welterweight Championship. Live next Saturday on NBC Sports World.
Yes, Johnny Bumpus finally gets the title shot fighting Willie Rodriguez for the USBA Junior Welterweight crown next Saturday on NBC Sports World at 4 o'clock. That one right out of the end zone as Barr popped it pretty good. So Kansas City is getting ready now for, let's see, this. They're going for their 6th possession. And here is where they have had to start from. That last drive, 68 yards, 6 plays, and Wilson's 3-yard run for the touchdown. Kansas City has gone on offense on its own 7-yard line, 35, 12, 14, 27, and 20. Not exactly good field position.
No. Things have got to change for them a little later. We made a point earlier, too, Merle. When you talk about field position, you always talk about the field, too. Oakland has allowed this grass to grow a little longer. They've sod it in the infield. Kansas City hasn't played a regular season game on natural grass thus far this year. And maybe that has a little bit to do with the fact that their offense isn't getting on track.
Had not for one at the 21, Rod Martin making the tackle, and Jim Plunkett is sitting on the sideline, or standing on the sideline. Last year, Jim Plunkett was a comeback player of the year. He, I don't know, when Pastorini went out, Plunkett came in. He started the last 11 games and all but 4 of the postseason games and led Oakland to a 13-2 mark from there on in. Was the MVP Super Bowl in the Super Bowl. I tell you, it's an unbelievable story the way things have gone backward for him. And an unbelievable overthrow there to J.T. Smith by Bill Kenny, who has a very powerful arm. Otis McKinney, 23, and Lester Hayes, 37, from the defensive secondary on the coverage. So Bill Kenny is now 1 for 4 for 44 yards. He's been sacked for a 10-yard loss. And by the way, the Chiefs did not give up a single sack to the Denver Broncos last week, but they nailed Craig Morton 6 times. 3rd down 9 for Kansas City. 5 defensive backs on the field now for the Oakland Raiders, with Osteen, Jackson, Hayes, McKinney, and Owens. Smith to the right, Marshall to the left. Hadnot goes in motion. Blitz on by Hendricks, and he had to unload the ball. He tried to get it to Delaney, but Big Ted Hendricks was coming at 6'7" frame. He's got a right to grin, I guess, huh?
Ted's always grinning. We came in the league, I think, the same year. Ted really enjoys a game of football. When you ask him when he's going to retire, his usual comment is, when they take the uniform off my back. He enjoys it that much. He's been a great player. Credit him with the incompleted pass, because when you're, 6'7", running upfield, it's hard for that quarterback to see the receiver he's trying to throw to.
Hendricks blocked that field goal by Tampa Bay with 8 seconds left last week. Time of possession, you can see the Raiders have the advantage. Drupp hangs it a mile high for Ted Watts. Fair catch in the 44. We have 10:16 to go in the first half after that 35-yard kick, and the clock is stopped, and the Oakland Raiders have the Kansas City Chiefs down by 14-0.
This Bud's for that first day on the job.
This Bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. for all you do. This Bud's for you.
Motorcraft reveals the enemy of gas mileage, fuel-robbing friction in your engine. Motorcraft introduces the Gas Saver, Motorcraft's new super premium oil. It fights friction so well, it can actually save you gas. New Motorcraft super premium oil. For the future of your car, for sure. Now get up to $9.50 in total refunds on these Motorcraft products.
Raymond Chester is now in the lineup for the Oakland Raiders. He lost his job a couple of weeks ago to Derek Ramsey. All-Pro, 12 years out of Morgan State. First down at the 44. And Willis gets nailed on the 45 by Mike Bell. So a yard pickup, and that's all. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
You're watching WDAF TV4, Kansas City.
Merle Herman and George Coons with you in Oakland, California. The Raiders scored in the first quarter after Kansas City fumbled on the 6, on its own 6. Wilson threw to Bradshaw for a touchdown, then Wilson capped a 68-yard drive a moment ago with a running touchdown. That was intended for Willis coming out of the backfield, and a little bit too high for him. Mark Wilson at 6'6" certainly has no trouble spotting his receivers.
No, that's not one of his problems, but as a young ball player in his second start, he still has that edginess that he needs to tone down somewhat. You saw an errant pass, his receiver wide open, he just didn't get it to him. A young ball player is going to make mistakes like that. Coach Flores knows it, and he's got to bear with it if he wants Wilson to mature in the manner I'm sure he does.
Now the Chiefs secondary could be tested because Branch, Bradshaw, and Chandler, 3 wide receivers, are in for Oakland, 3rd down 9. They show the blitz. Wilson with too much time gets hit as he throws that football. It was incomplete, intended for Bob Chandler. Chandler is wearing a flak jacket. He missed 7 weeks. He had a spleen removed. And Chandler said, I know I'll be all right after I take that first hit. New Orleans still winning over Cincinnati in what could be a king-size upset if New Orleans holds the lead. Cincinnati leading the AFC Central. It is now 4th down and 9, and Ray Guy is in to kick it away to J.T. Smith. J.T., a 5-year veteran from North Texas State, and Ray Guy with the strongest leg and also the strongest arm on this Oakland football team.
Really, Ray can throw the ball. He's a 13 quarterback for the Oakland Raiders. This is really the first chance this game he's had a chance to stretch his leg out, see how far he can kick it.
All right, let's see what he can do about airing it out. Chiefs go for the block, don't get it. J.T. at the 15. Russell out of bounds at the 21. A 41-yard kick, Ted Watts downfield to make the tackle. So we've gone to the 9:26 mark to play in the first half. The Raiders on a touchdown pass by Wilson and a 3-yard run by Wilson lead it by that much.
Your day is long and your work is hard, and your boots say Acme. Your boots say Acme. Your boots say Acme. Your boots say Acme, the real West.
Look out, world.
Here comes Ford Escort.
Hello, world. Or think I like what you are. I know you're gonna travel me a long way.
Here come 3 high-mileage world cars from Ford. Escort 2-door hatchback, 4-door wagon, and introducing new Escort 4-door hatchback.
Look out, world.
Ford Escort, outselling every import car line in America.
Here comes new. Here comes now. Here comes Ford.
The Oakland Raiders are leading the Kansas City Chiefs by a score of 14-0. And for those fans who joined us after the Buffalo game, the Buffalo-Denver game, George, you made a comment about the first time that the Chiefs have been playing on grass, and also the fact that this field has been sodded as the Chiefs put the ball in play at their own 21-yard line. We'll pick up on that in a moment. This is Joe Delaney, the rookie, being hit behind the line by Dave Browning, number 73. So it's been a tough afternoon so far for Joe Delaney, who's carried the ball 7 times and picked up 7 yards net now. New Orleans has beaten Cincinnati in a major upset. So Cincinnati is now 5-3, and Dallas leads Miami by a single point. The Jets in Seattle are scoreless. The Jets have been coming on strong, and the Bears are still holding on to a lead over San Diego. They're in the second quarter. The loss was 3, 2nd and 13. Flag down. Kenny to the near side to J.T. Smith. J.T. is down immediately at the 34. Lester Hayes covering him. If the play stands, it'll be good enough for a first down. San Francisco leading the Rams. And a moment ago, they made the announcement here at the Oakland Coliseum, and that drew a reaction.
Kenny, that time, this last pass was a good pass, a well-run pattern, looked at his primary receiver. Hayes didn't have bad coverage, but the pass was perfect for a first down.
And a gain of 16 yards, a penalty against Oakland.
The Chiefs 34.
So the Chiefs take the play. John Matuzak out of Oak Creek, Wisconsin, a Milwaukee suburb, was offside on the play. Matuzak is 6'8", 285 pounds.
Would you believe in this area he's a folk hero, too? At 6'8", 285, he could be a legend if he wanted to.
He can be anything he wants to be at 6'8". First down, Kansas City. Jack Rudnay over the ball. Kenny has some time to throw over the middle, and it's almost intercepted by Lester Hayes. In fact, he should have had it. Al Dixon, 84, the tight end, was the target.
We were just talking about John Matuzak at 6'8", 285. Here you see him. One of John's strong suits is not pass rushing, but it is punishing offensive blockers. Here you see a lean and a push and a shove. That's what Matuzak does best. He's what you call a plugger, but he's so big at plugging that he takes up 2 spots and allows Hendricks, you see him in the background, to rush from the outside, not have to worry about that middle.
Kenny on 2nd and 10. Incomplete. Al Dixon, the tight end, hit him in the hands, and he couldn't hang on to it. Ted Hendricks was right there all over him.
Ted Hendricks. You know, Hendricks and Matuzak work well together as a team. As you see Ted walking back there, Hendricks can drop back, and with 6'7", you've got to get a pass in there perfectly for him, for the receiver to catch it. He's definitely a leader in that defensive unit as the folks rally around him. Sort of a quiet guy in the field, but one to be reckoned with both in pass coverage and with a rush on a passing situation.
Kansas City is 0-5 in third down conversions. They have a 3rd and 10 at their own 35, and Oakland leading by a score of 14-0. 3 wide receivers in. Stan Rome splits wide to the left. Marshall is in there. J.T. Smith is in. Third down. Overthrew. It's intercepted. Picked off by number 35, Dwayne Osteen of the Oakland Raiders. Comes back to the near side. Actually going backward and tried to pick up a block and some running room. And is down to the 48-yard line of Kansas City. Dwayne Osteen getting his first interception of the year.
Well, that's got to be big for Dwayne. He lost his job to Monty Jackson a couple of weeks ago. Comes back in. Oakland had 9 people on the line of scrimmage hoping to stop Kansas City. Put their defensive backs in a bind with some one-on-one coverage, yet they came up with a big play. Now Oakland has the ball on the Kansas City 48-yard line.
Kansas City beat Oakland 2 weeks ago, 27-0, holding the Oakland offense to a mere 230 yards. Now it is Van Egan in the ball game for the first time as Wilson goes for the bomb. And where is he throwing the ball? Something went wrong in the pattern somewhere. Bob Chandler had cut to the sideline at about the 30, and Wilson threw that ball all the way down to the 10.
That's a miscue. Chandler, again, a receiver who's been out for 7 weeks, coming back in for the first time. We see Mark Wilson a little bit upset with himself, misread the pattern, expected Chandler to do something a little different as Bradshaw brings a play in for him. But those miscues will happen when a young quarterback and a receiver who's been out for a while come back to their, first and second game respectively.
Kansas City trailing 14-0. The ball on the KC 48, 2nd and 10 for the Raiders. 5 defensive backs for Kansas City, but the ball goes to Kenny King. King goes to the 43-yard line for a gain of 5. It'll be 3rd down 5. Charles Jackson, 51, over there on the tackle. As you look at Whitney Paul, who had a 47-yard touchdown on a fumble recovery against Denver last week. 3rd down 5 for the Oakland Raiders. In the game 2 weeks ago, Kansas City ran for 457 yards against the Raider defense, and Joe Delaney had 106. Today, he has been held to 7 yards. 3rd and 5 for Oakland. Incomplete. Hitting Raymond Chester right in the hands, and he took a pop immediately from number 34, the rookie Lloyd Burris. It is 4th down and 5 for Oakland on the 43-yard line. And Ray Guy and the punting unit comes on the field for the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders lead it by 14-0. We have 7:35 to go in the first half. Guy with a 47.1 punting average. His longest is 69 yards, and that tops the AFC this year. J.T. Smith will go back for Kansas City. No run back on this one. Let's see where they line the ball up. And it will be marked on the 14-yard line of the Chiefs, who just have not been able to get any kind of a good start at an offense. Oakland leading by 14-0. Mark Wilson throwing to Bradshaw for a 6-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter to make it 7-0. And then Wilson capped a 68-yard drive with a 3-yard naked reverse around his own right end to make it 14-0 here in the second quarter.
They haven't had a chance to. A Guy has kept them consistently inside their 20-yard line every time he's punt, and they haven't had that many big plays. They got one this last series, but they haven't had that many big plays to get them on the scoreboard. Delaney having a hard time running.
They're really keying on Delaney as Otis McKinney, number 23, who has replaced Mike Davis, who went down with an injury a few weeks ago. McKinney making the tackle. 2nd down 10 as Marv Levy is about ready to send in a play with Stan Rome. If Rome does come in, and I don't believe he is going to come in at this stage. 2nd down 10 for the Chiefs. Rudnay at center. Brad Buddy, 66. Tom Condon, 65 of the guards. Matt Herkenhoff is back in our left tackle. Charlie Getty is the right tackle for Kansas City. A quick pop over the middle, incomplete. Al Dixon, the tight end. And things are not going right at all for Kansas City. And the Chicago Bears, who were hammered last Monday night by the Detroit Lions, have a 7-point lead over the San Diego Chargers. They're the highest scoring team in the NFL. Dallas, 8 better than Miami in the second quarter. Miami has defeated the NFC in games more than any other AFC team, and Dallas has returned the favor as an NFC team over the AFC. 5 defensive backs on the field now. 3rd down 10. Fake the draw. And incomplete. Flag goes down. Joe Delaney was the man in the area. Willie Jones had the quarterback under control, and I believe grounding's going to be ruled.
Well, it was definitely grounding. There was nothing he could do. Delaney wasn't even looking at him when he threw the ball. He was in the vicinity, and that's what Kansas City is arguing now. Look, my receiver was in the vicinity. That was a bad pass. All in all, the official's ruling is that it was an attempted dump off just to get rid of the ball before he was tackled. Jones with great pressure on Kenny. Once again, loss of down and playing the ball at the position at which the pass was thrown. Once again, the pressure coming from the left side of your screen on a play fake. Nobody picks up Jones as he comes right in on Kenny. Kenny trying to get rid of the ball. Again, Delaney not even looking for it that soon, and as a result, the call, you see the yellow flag, the call intentional grounding. Loss of down at the point at which the pass was thrown.
Bob Grupp will kick it to Ted Watts. Grupp has gone from a 3-step kicker to a 2-step kicker. I don't think there's any way he could take 3 steps from where he is right now.
They're going to try to rush it.
Here they come. He got it out of there somehow. But it takes an Oakland bounce. Look at that ball go back the other way. And it is finally down. We've got something going on back at the goal line, however. As tempers are flaring, a 26-yard punt. The ball will be down to the 21-yard line of Kansas City. Herb Christopher there to down the ball.
Rupp doesn't have much room to maneuver. You'll see the people coming in quickly as he tries to get rid of it. That Oakland wall, everybody, including number 75, Howard Long, trying to get in there to block it. Their return is not set up because no matter where they get the ball, it'll be close to the goal line of Kansas City. As a result, they can gamble on the block and take that risk.
Let's see if Wilson tries to get it all. He does not. He goes to Kenny King. Flag down as King goes to the 16.
The ball carrier was Kenny King.
Mike Bell, number 99, over there to help out on the tackle.
Right guard at number 30.
Mickey Marvin. Illegally in motion. I believe he said right guard. Mark Van Eegen. Let's see what Bob Frederick says.
Illegal motion. Number 65 and number 30 in the offense.
Well, we had Mickey Marvin, number 65, and Mark Van Eegen, number 30, both guilty. Van Eegen is the all-time leading rusher. He has an injured hamstring. He's missed 3 or 4 ball games. And he's the heart and soul of the running game of Oakland. First and 15 on the 26. Wilson gets whacked pretty good as he gets that ball going forward. Bell, number 99, with a good pass rush. Whitney Paul, 53, the linebacker, coming from the left side to put the heat on Mark Wilson, who really plays with a lot of poise, I think, George.
He really does. You know, he does play with poise. He waits in the pocket. He's a classic drop-back passer. It's a credit, and that was not the fault of the Oakland offensive line. It's to the Oakland offensive line credit that they're giving him as much time as he is. And you're seeing good pass defense on the part of the Kansas City secondary, which doesn't allow Wilson to throw that pass as quickly as he liked.
3 wide receivers out for the Raiders. And Bob Chandler was the intended receiver. He stumbled down around the 3-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 15 coming up for the Raiders. Mark Wilson set about all the records anybody could set in his collegiate career at BYU. 11 NCAA marks. He had 29 touchdown passes his senior year as he directed the Cougars to an 11-0 record. He had 7 games of 300 or more yards in his senior year. Right now, he's guiding the Oakland Raiders. He led them to a victory last week over Tampa Bay. And right now, the Raiders have a 14-0 lead over Kansas City with 6:18 to go in the first half. 3 wide receivers out for the Raiders. Wilson with time again. Where are the receivers? They are not open. They are now. And that may be ruled a catch and a fumble. Let's see if it is. I believe it is. Kansas City's football on the 20-yard line. Bob Chandler got hit, dropped the football. Deron Cherry, number 20, put the hit on him. And Kansas City recovers the football.
Again, good pass protection. Wilson, you see it from his view. He's looking at his primary receiver. He'll turn right. Sees Chandler coming back. Chandler catching the ball. The ruling is that you've got to have both feet land and have the ball in a football position. He does. As a result, it's ruled a fumble. Kansas City has the ball, has recovered. Lloyd Burris recovering the fumble, giving Kansas City possession.
So Deron makes the big hit, and Kansas City has the ball at its own 20. 6:08 to go in the first half. Play action. Delaney out there, incomplete. If they can get the football to Joe Delaney, you're going to see a circus. Burgess Owens, number 44, had the coverage on Delaney, who was a wide receiver in college. Delaney, one of the most exciting players in the NFL this year. In his rookie season, he's the 2nd leading ground gainer in the AFC to none other than Earl Campbell down in Houston. In the top of the 2nd inning, in the World Series in Los Angeles, the Yankees lead 1-0. Ender batting. Kenny on 2nd and 10. Kenny over the middle. Has his man at the 27-yard line. Ted Hendricks pulling the receiver down. Henry Marshall. Marshall, the 6-year veteran from Missouri, who had 106 yards in the air 2 weeks ago against the Oakland Raiders as the Chiefs won that ball game by 27-0. Kansas City is 5-2 for the year, having beaten Pittsburgh and Tampa, lost to San Diego, beat Seattle, lost to New England, then beat Oakland and Denver coming into this one. Willie Scott is now in at tight end for Kansas City on 3rd down and 2. Marshall in motion. How about this? Johnson 68, Ted Hendricks 83. Had it all figured out.
You know, if things aren't going exactly right, sometimes you go to a bag of tricks. Here, Delaney taking the handoff, immediately tossing it back. A little more of a delay there would probably have helped to fool the Oakland secondary and front line, but it wasn't that much of a delay. Oakland wasn't that fooled. As a result, Kenny does not get the first down, gets taken out 2 yards short, and Grupp has another chance to increase his punting average.
Grupp will kick it away to Ted Watts, the sprinter from Texas Tech. Number 1 draft choice for the Oakland Raiders. Grupp did not get a good kick away. Shanked it off the right side, and it's out of bounds on the Oakland 46-yard line. So we have 4:32 to go in the first half, and the Raiders lead it by a 14-0 score after a 28-yard kick by Bob Grupp, who is not having a good year this year. Well, we followed boxer Johnny Bumpus through his days as an amateur in the National Golden Gloves and the Olympic trials. Now, as a young pro, he gets a title shot as he fights Willie Rodriguez for the USBA Junior Welterweight crown next Saturday on NBC Sports World at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Plus, aerial athletes test their skills in the tricky winds of the Sierra Nevadas in the National Hang Gliding Championships. That's all next Saturday on NBC Sports World. And here come the Raiders with a running game. And Derek Jensen across midfield to the 48-yard line of Kansas City, getting 6 yards on the play before Jerry Blanton, 57, and Charles Jackson, 51. The linebackers can stop him. Jackson, a 4-year veteran from Washington, went to Canada earlier this year. Jackson is one of those guys that he always wants to kind of test the waters, so to speak, somewhere else, and he always winds up playing for Kansas City. 2nd and 4. Play action. Wilson. Bradshaw found on the 32-yard line of Kansas City by Lloyd Burris, the strong safety. Gain of 16.
That was a well set up pattern. Number 21 on the left side, Chris Branch clearing out. Mark Wilson with a little play fake here, looking at Branch at first, and then a drag pattern by the tight end, and slightly behind him by Bradshaw. There you see the opening. 3 people in the area, but 2 clearing out for Bradshaw. Catches the ball, takes it down for the 16-yard gain.
First down on the 32 of Kansas City. 3:26 to go in the first half. Oakland ahead by 14. Derek Jensen, the fullback, bangs his way to the 28. Don Parrish, number 61, the nose tackle, the 4-year veteran from Pittsburgh, and Whitney Paul out of the University of Colorado make the stop for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs went into this game today in a 3-way tie with San Diego, Denver for first place in the Western Division as Gary Spaney calls the defensive set. Denver upset today. I don't know if it's an upset or not. Buffalo on a field goal by Nick Mickemeyer with 1 second left beat the Broncos 9-7. Kenny King chased out of bounds. Mickey Marvin pulling to lead the play. Eric Harris, 44, the right cornerback, finally got him out of bounds inside the 25. The clock is stopped with 2:47 to go in the first half. They'll mark the ball at the 25-yard line. The Chiefs, as you can see on our graphic, second against the rush. Detroit is first. And Detroit a winner over Green Bay today. So those Lions with Eric Hipple, their young quarterback from Utah State, starting to make a bit of a move in the Central Division of the NFC. 3rd down 3 for Oakland. Wilson backpedaling time again. It's Kenny King out of the backfield. A first down at the 19 of Kansas City. Jerry Blanton and Charles Jackson, the linebackers, make the tackle. So it's a first down for the Raiders on the 19-yard line. Short game, but enough to keep possession.
Mark Wilson getting plenty of time once again. His wide receivers clearing out deep, sending the defensive secondary deep, allowing the backs of Oakland to be covered by the linebackers of Kansas City, and betting that Kenny King can outrun Charles Jackson. King did, got the pass, and took it down for another first.
Wilson, let's see if he'll try to get it all. He wants it all. He's got Branch in the end zone, incomplete. The coverage by Gary Green, who's one of the league's best in the opinion of the Kansas City Chiefs, the 5-year veteran from Baylor and the number 1 draft choice in 1977. The clock is stopped with 2:03 to go in the first half. Oakland ahead by 14. Wilson is now 9 for 23, 147 yards and 1 touchdown. And he scored the other touchdown in the second quarter on a 3-yard run on a roll to the right. He sent the flow to the left and pulled the old naked reverse, if you will, to the right side. Here's Branch going into the slot right with Bradshaw White, and Kansas City has 5 defensive backs. Here comes the blitz. And it works. Arthur Whittington hit by Gary Barbaro coming on the blitz from his safety spot. And Barbaro at 6'4" and 210 didn't have any trouble putting Whittington on the ground. So it's 3rd down after the loss, 3rd down and 13.
You know, Barbaro, as we see him here blitzing from his safety position. Here we are in Oakland, score 14-0, Oakland over the Chiefs. We'll be right back after this message.
As an intelligent consumer, I wanted to compare Atari asteroids with other companies' asteroids. But other companies don't make asteroids. I wanted to compare Atari Missile Command with other companies' Missile Command. But other companies don't make that either. Finally, I wanted to compare the new Atari Warlords. Unfortunately, other companies don't make it. When it comes to the video games the world wants most, nobody compares to Atari.
Gramp, I'm here to help you install your garage door opener.
I did it myself, son. It's a Stanley.
Hey, Dad, thanks for the garage door opener.
I'll show you how to put it up.
We did it this morning.
It's a Stanley. Harry. Oh, happy birthday, dear.
You did it yourself.
It's a Stanley.
Buy a Stanley U-Install opener and get an extra transmitter for only $10.99. You can save up to $27.50 through October 31st.
The Oakland Raiders trying to put another win in the column today. After being shut out 3 games in a row, they came back to beat Tampa Bay last week. They lead the Chiefs 14-0. We have 2 minutes to go in the first half. For the Raiders, after a 4-yard loss, 3rd down, 13. 5 defensive backs on for Kansas City. Wilson in the pocket, and it's intercepted. It is picked off by Deron Cherry. And Kansas City comes up with a big interception. It was intended for Bob Chandler. And Deron Cherry, the rookie from Rutgers.
You know, that's one of the few times that Kansas City has put a lot of pressure on Wilson. You can see right here as Wilson's looking downfield again, used to that pass protection. From the right side, he'll get the pressure. Cherry right there. Wilson doesn't have all the time he had previously to hit Chandler, number 85, running away. Picks off the pass and starts upfield with it again. Credit that interception to Cherry and the defensive line of Kansas City putting the pressure on Wilson.
Smith to the right, Marshall to the left. Kansas City on its own 8. Oakland is offside. Delaney on the handoff. Delaney getting out across the 10 to the 13. Randy McClanahan, 57, the inside linebacker, the ex-Buffalo Bill on the stop.
Defense offside, number 73.
Dave Browning, the defensive right end, was caught offside. You know, George, Kansas City just... the field position for Kansas City as they have taken over the 7, the 35-yard line, the 12, the 14, the 27, the 20, the 21, 14, 20, and now the 8.
Well, a great guy. What can you say about a guy who can put the ball in there? So first down for the Chiefs, Merle. But Ray Guy has kept Kansas City down in bad field position. There's been a change. Herkenhoff has come off as Kenny looks at his offensive line. Herkenhoff has been taken inside with his trainer. As a result, you've got number 76, Roger Taylor, a young kid out there who doesn't know the complete system, trying to work against Browning, and Kansas City wants to run their left side. So we'll see what kind of a job Taylor can do.
1st and 5, Kenny will go to the air. Zips it over the middle, incomplete. Again, big pressure put on Kenny. Henry Marshall was his target. The clock is stopped. 1:42 to go in the first half. It's 14-0. The Oakland Raiders out in front. Kansas City beat Denver last week, 28-14, to throw the AFC West into a 3-way tie, but Denver's been beaten today by Buffalo, and the Chicago Bears are still leading the San Diego Chargers in their game in Chicago. So this topsy-turvy West could really get interesting. The Raiders are not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Joe Delaney. Delaney can't turn the corner. Tom Condon, the right guard, had pulled to lead the blocking. But Matt Millen, number 55, and Otis McKinney, number 23, came in there with a quick move and made the tackle.
Well, we say that they want to run the left side. That is, Kansas City wants to run Oakland, or their left side, Kansas City's right defensive side. You can see the difference an offensive lineman makes. Herkenhoff taken off the field As we find out how many timeouts Oakland has left. So when you put in a young rookie offensive lineman, you're not as effective running as you'd like to be at a point at which you'd like to run. Kansas City's having another problem go against them early in the ball game. They're going to have to snap back, and there's a guy right there, Coach Flores, who doesn't feel or doesn't really want to see Kansas City snap back from, as you said earlier, Merle, that topsy-turvy AFC West.
Coming up at halftime, NFL 81, we'll have scores and highlights of all the games played in the NFL today. Updates on the later games this afternoon. The Kansas City Chiefs, with Joe Delaney this year, and under this man, Marvin Levy, have really opened up their offense. But it has not been able to get going today against the Raider defense. Marv Levy, very well known in this area, coached the University of California Golden Bears up in Berkeley for 4 years, coached in the CFL for 5 years, and has the Chiefs off to their best start since '71, but not in this game today. Kansas City has totaled 360 yards on offense in each game, average rather. Third down. Delaney hit behind the line. They're really working Delaney over. John Matuzak went right after him, and the Chiefs the Oakland Raiders take a timeout. Oakland is trying to pin Kansas City down, force him to punt and get another shot at it.
Big twos, he's running off the field as he's called here. Those are not boos, those are twos calls. John fighting around his blocker, getting right into Delaney, and when 6'8", 285 hits you, it's awfully easy to go down. Delaney not really having a chance.
So the Raiders take the timeout to stop the clock with 1:26 seconds to go, and Kansas City has a 4th down and 7 coming up. Kansas City has been held to 14 yards rushing in the first half by this Raider defense.
Well, that's again, it's not uncommon for the Raiders to do that. Last week they held Tampa Bay to a game low of 29 yards rushing. They're capable of doing it. They haven't made that many changes on their defense. Nobody has ever said Oakland's defense was that bad. So you're seeing another good defensive unit come together.
Sorry, George. Ted Watts was standing back there all by himself. He is really keyed because this return, if he can make one, as Grupp gets ready to kick it away, could really be the story of this ball game. Grupp has averaged 33.7 today on 6 punts. The last time he kicked to the back of his own end zone. Line of the Raiders. 1:15 left to go now in the first half, and the Raiders leading by a score of 14-0 as Phil Kancig, a linebacker, made the tackle. So the ball is on the Oakland 49. Watts had visions of getting that ball back deep into Kansas City territory, but Kansas City special teams covered well. Now Branch goes to the right. 1:15 showing on the clock. Bradshaw will go in the slot right for Oakland. Bob Chandler is in. He splits to the left side for the Raiders. Derek Ramsey in the slot left. Chandler incomplete. Burris was coming up, and I think Wilson saw Burris coming up and just threw the ball over Chandler's head to avoid any interception.
Well, right now Kansas City's hoping to get a good rush on that man by their front three. They want to drop everybody off into pass protection with 1:11 to go, and hopefully not give Wilson those open receivers that he's used to hitting. He's got to get, that is Kansas City's got to get a lot of pressure from those front, now 4 men in the line, hopefully to block, obscure his vision, and to cut down on that amount of time he needs to see his receivers.
Second down. Wilson incomplete, intended for Derek Ramsey, his tight end. Lloyd Burris had the coverage. 1:06 left to play in the first half. Oakland leading by a score of 14-0. You know, George, you were talking about the Raiders holding Tampa in that first half last week in the game in which they won 18-16, holding Tampa to no first downs in the first 37 minutes of the game and only 21 yards offense in the first half. And yet, Doug Williams got a hot hand in the second half and came back with 335 yards in the air against them. Third down conversions, you see it. That's part of the story of this game. Third down down 10 for Oakland. Wilson tying. This time he has Derek Ramsey to tie it in, and a second effort may have gotten him the first down. Lloyd Burris, 34. Charles Jackson, 51. Dave Lindstrom, 71, putting the pressure on. But Ramsey, with a little second effort, he didn't have the first down, but now he may have it.
Wilson, that familiar poise, dropping back, looking downfield, seeing Ramsey over here on the left side. Ramsey taking over from Raymond Chester last game in which he caught 6 passes. Here are 2 people on him. He fights upfield, what they like to refer to as Raider poise and pride, to get that first down. It's close, and they're about to measure for it.
And if they get it, it'll be because Ramsey just wouldn't quit. He didn't get it by that much. You can hear the crowd go. Tom Flores and his Raiders have a 14-0 lead with 51 seconds left to go in the first half. Kenny King comes on, and Raymond Chester comes in. Christensen comes in. They'll go for it, apparently, with 3 tight ends. And Kenny King coming into the backfield on the 42-yard line of Kansas City is where the ball is spotted. The clock is running with less than 50 seconds. Here we go, 4th down. Derek Jensen has the first down at the 40-yard line. Derek Ramsey blocking in for him. Derek Jensen carrying for the first down at the 40. Now we have 26 seconds left in the first half, and the Raiders take their last timeout.
Short yardage formation going to the right side. Wilson on the handoff. 2 tight ends and 2 big offensive linemen on that side. A powerful move inside by the runner, number 31, Jensen, just getting the first down. Oakland getting the better of the offensive line surge and also getting the yardage they need to keep the drive going with 25 seconds left.
While Kansas City is 5-2 for the year coming into this game, Oakland is 3-4. They opened the season with a loss to Denver. Then they beat Minnesota, and Minnesota didn't lose again until today. Then Oakland down Seattle, lost to Detroit, Denver, and Kansas City by shutouts of 16-0, 17-0, and 27-0. Last week they beat Tampa Bay 18-16. The Raiders have been riddled with serious injuries, losing the middle guard or nose tackle Reggie Kinlaw for the year, linebacker Bob Nelson, strong safety Mike Davis, and of course Bob Chandler and Mark Van Egan are back in action today, seeing limited duty. But you talk about injuries, Kansas City has 10 on the injured list right now.
Well, we'd read you their names, except the list is too long. When you talk about the moves that people have had to make on injured reserve, Tom Flores, that man there, has not had to make the moves that Marv Levy has had to make. He's lost 10 people he's had to bring back to fill those gaps from training camp. It's quite a statement in regards to the depth that Kansas City's trying to build to be competitive with 10 injuries to key people in their 40-man squad.
First down to the Kansas City 40. Wilson being pursued. He can run. Slides into second base at about the 27-yard line. But the clock running with 14 seconds, and Oakland has no timeouts remaining. 10 seconds. They got to get it underway and then go for the field goal. 7 seconds. And we've got contact up on the line, and the clock is stopped with 3 seconds left to play in the first half.
False start. Offense number 65.
So now the Raiders. Mickey Marvin, guilty of a false start that takes the ball back to the 33. 3 seconds showing.
Wilson stepping back, looking around, and finally getting upfield. Once that primary rush is by him, there's a big void as the linebackers drop off. And you'll see Wilson playing it smart, getting down. We're going to try a field goal from the 41-yard line, a 51-yarder if Oakland makes it.
Chris Barr has a 51-yarder already this year. He's got the distance on this one, and he's got his second 51-yarder. So Chris Barr, as Marv Levy is livid. Chris Barr, a 51-yard field goal as the clock runs out to end the first half of the Oakland Raiders. A surprising 70-0 lead over the Kansas City Chiefs, who came into this game with a 5-2 record. At the end of the first half, Oakland leads Kansas City by a score of 17-0.
Look out, boy. Here comes the first Granada wagon.
Here comes Ford.
Here comes all the comfort of a contemporary sedan and more cargo space than any American-built wagon in its class. New Granada wagon.
Here's something more than ordinary driving, something to arrive in.
Here comes all the guts of a wagon and all the glory of a Granada.
Here comes new, here comes now, here comes Ford.
The 1980 Winter Olympics. Hockey team captain Mike Ruzioni helped clinch the gold for the U.S.
I'm Mike Ruzioni, the artist. Budweiser asked me to paint with these to help raise funds for America's Olympic athletes. Now you can own my painting and help our athletes train for 84. After all, there are a lot of Picassos. There's only one, Ruzioni.
Call 1-800-325-1488 for more information.
Our cameras have followed his remarkable boxing career since the very beginning. He's punched his way to the top with devastating power. The man is hungry and he wants more. Be there when Johnny Bump City Bumpus steps into the ring in a scheduled 12-rounder for the United States Boxing Association Junior Welterweight Championship against defending champion Willie Rodriguez. See it live next Saturday on NBC Sports World.
The surprising Oakland Raiders with Mark Wilson throwing a touchdown pass to Bradshaw in the first quarter, scoring on a 3-yard run in the second, and a 51-yard field goal by Chris Barr, 17-0 at halftime. NFL halftime activities will continue in a moment. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Sunday night's a sure winner, starting with a special hour of Here's Boomer. And Bruce Jenner's the new Chips rookie, helping collar dangerous street racers. Chips. Then they dream of victory.
I'm gonna win.
A world premiere movie, Twirl. Right after Here's Boomer and Chips. Sunday on NBC.
Your day is long and your work is hard. And your boots say Acme. Your boots say Acme. Your boots say Acme. Your boots say Acme, the real West.
Past 70 miles, all I've been thinking of is beer, beer, beer. What do I get? Light. You drink it.
I will. It's Coors Light.
All right.
The surprising taste of Coors Light comes from pure Rocky Mountain spring water and high country barley.
Hey.
And a way of brewing that squeezes a lot of the calories out.
It's good.
But leaves all the taste in.
I'm surprised.
Coors Light, the surprise is how good it tastes.
Hi, I'm looking for some tires.
What kind of tires you need?
Well, I don't know. I thought you could
What
help.
size you got?
Well, it's a 79 Chevy.
What am I, a mind reader?
Here at NTW, courteous, highly trained salespeople educate you so you can pick just the right tire for your car and driving habits. Low prices and the largest selection of brand name tires makes the NTW difference. NTW. Ask someone who's been there.
No MTW, and you'll know tires.
See Charlie's Angels Sunday night at 10:30.
This is an Action 4 News update.
Good afternoon. Missouri Congressman Richard Bolling is upset by President Reagan's domestic as well as foreign policy. Speaking to a group at the All Souls Unitarian Church today, Bolling stressed that Reagan's programs are a disaster and are causing what he called the current mess in Washington. Bolling added that Reagan's foreign policy is hurting the United States.
I thought it was not quite as bad as I feared. The president's foreign policy is not very well thought out, and I think he's doing the United States a great disservice in the way he's handling it.
Bolling also says that Democrats in Washington are trying to break up a group of Republicans who are voting for Reagan's programs simply because of party loyalty and not because they necessarily agree with the cuts or programs. Former Vice President Walter Mondale also took a poke at the president today. Appearing on NBC's Meet the Press, the Democrat remains critical of the Reagan plan to sell AWACS radar planes to Saudi Arabia.
I think it will escalate the arms race in the Middle East. I think it changes the focus from one of pursuing peace to one of arms escalation. And I think it would be a wise move for President Reagan to pull that request down now and to try to reach a new consensus in the Middle East as to how to proceed in order to avoid an embarrassment.
The former vice president also says that he opposed the sale of AWACS equipment to Iran during the Carter administration.
Now is the perfect time to look into a Commerce Bank All Savers certificate. It lets you earn up to $2,000 tax-free for an effective yield that can be much higher than any money market fund, with the added safety of FDIC insurance. Plus, when you open your Commerce All Savers certificate, you get this handy travel alarm free. So open your high-yield Commerce All Savers certificate today and start getting it done with a timely offer from Commerce Bank.
Because all corporate structures are not created equal. Corporate Woods, Jones & Company exclusive leasing agents.
I pitch a hot no-hitter, and they try to cool me off with light beer. You ever taste light beer?
This is Coors Light. The surprising taste of Coors Light. It comes from pure Rocky Mountain spring water and high country barley.
Hold on.
And a way of brewing that squeezes a lot of the calories out.
It's good.
But leaves all the taste in.
You surprised me. Oh, we did?
Coors Light. The surprise is how good it tastes.
Hello?
Sir, it's Baker. Sorry to bother you, but we've got Poughkeepsie on a teleconference.
Yes, sir. The Fitzdale deal was moved up, and we need your personal approval immediately.
Fine. Full steam ahead. That's good thinking, Baker. A teleconference was the perfect way to handle this.
Well, thank you, sir. Hope you're feeling better.
Thank you, Baker. One more thing.
Yes, sir?
Get out of my chair.
Bell Teleconferencing. It's another way to get things done today.
In sports, the New York Yankees are trying to gain back the lead in the World Series today. Ron Guidry took the starting mound for the Yankees, and Jerry Royce kicked it off for the Dodgers. In the third inning, it's 1-0 Yankees. And in New York today, both the men's and women's world records were shattered in the New York City Marathon. Defending men's champion Alberto Salazar breezed to victory at an official time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 13 seconds. New Zealand's Alison Rowe crossed the finish line after 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 29 seconds. It turned out to be a perfect day for watching football. There is still a light rain falling on parts of the metropolitan area, but skies are expected to be clearing tonight with a low in the mid to upper 30s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and warmer with a high in the upper 50s. Continued clear through Tuesday with highs reaching the upper 60s. Right now, it's 47 degrees in downtown Kansas City and 44 at KCI. Winds are light and coming out of the north. Barometric pressure is just under 30 and rising. There will be no new General Motors plant for Western Wyandotte County, but one couple is getting a brand new house out of the deal, and Zan Anderson will tell you about it tonight at 10. Also coming up on the late edition of Action 4 News, Jan Smith visited an Olathe girl today who is a senior at North High. Find out why she's so special. Now we return you to the halftime festivities in Oakland, where in case you just joined us, the Chiefs are trailing 17-0. That's Action 4 News Update. I'm Sue Parcell. Join Glenn Hansen, Gordon Docking, Dick Hochter, and I tonight at 10.
Football League game is brought to you by Schlitz, the Master Brewer's Brew. Just one taste and you'll know behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer. By Motorcraft, line of quality automotive parts. Motorcraft for sure. By Black & Decker's Workmate. When you've got a tough job to handle, it's like having an extra pair of hands. And by IBM, helping put information to work for people.
Victoria, darling, my heart.
Stop, camera. Wash the suit.
Wash the suit?
It's the Hager washable suit in Visa Fabrics, made a new way to be machine washed and dried.
And action.
Victoria, my...
Cut. I don't believe it.
The Hager washable suit is guaranteed to keep its great looks and fit for its normal life or your money back. The Hager washable suit. Guaranteed wash after wash after wash.
There's only one car rental company in the world, big enough and good enough to be #1 for everyone. Hertz.
Who else guarantees your final rental charges in advance? Like this.
and lets you go right from your plane to your car without stopping at the rental counter.
Who else has their kind of special deals on vacation wheels?
And they never charge for mileage, no matter where you rent the car or where you return it.
Who else has over 4,100 convenient locations?
Who else has a fleet of cars big enough to stretch from Detroit to New York? And when it comes to service, who else has more people ready to help you, wherever or whenever? No matter what you need in a car rental company, there's only one company you'll ever need. Hertz. We're number one for everyone.
Hertz is number one for everyone.
Welcome back to our NFL 81 studios in New York. Since we're aware some of you may have had to break away for local news, let's get you caught up on all the scores, taking it from the top. Up in Rich Stadium, Chuck Knox and Dan Reeves were the coaches in a defensive struggle as the Bills and Broncos went at it. Only touchdown of the game provided on this aerial. Craig Morton to Steve Watson. A 36-yard strike, Watson's 10th touchdown catch of the year, but the difference was Nick McNamara's field goal. His third of the day, it came with 4 seconds left from 35 yards away and made the Bills a winner over the Broncos. Final was 9-7. It was raining at RFK, and Ron Earhart's spirits were dampened because his New England Patriots came up 2 points short of the Washington Redskins. One of the Redskins' heroes, Mike Nelms. He took a punt at his own 25, broke it down the left sideline. 75 yards later, he had a score. The Redskins a winner, 24-22. It was the Browns' turn to play beat up on the Colts. They won 42-28. Despite this strange touchdown, the field goal attempt of Mike Woods is blocked, winds up in the arms of Reese McCall. He starts to get tackled, goes back to Robert Pratt. He throws it up for grabs. Greg Landry takes it, runs it in 20 yards for the score. Merely a temporary respite because the Colts lost their 7th in a row. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Eagles, playing at home at Veterans Stadium, rebounded from their only loss and beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20-10. Ron Jaworski had a touchdown pass to Keith Kreftley. In Atlanta, Joe Danello and the Giants surprised the Atlanta Falcons. 5:40 left in the overtime. Danello from 40 yards out. The Giants a winner over the Falcons, 27-24. And in St. Louis, yet another upset. The St. Louis Cardinals turned back the Minnesota Vikings. The final in the ball game was 30-17. Jim Hart had 2 touchdown passes, including career touchdown strike number 200. He threw this one 37 yards for a score to Pat Tilley again. The Cardinals 30, the Vikings 17. Another final, this one from the Silver Dome, where the Lions beat the Green Bay Packers 31-27. Eric Hipple ran for 2 scores and threw for another. New Orleans surprised the Cincinnati Bengals. George Rogers, 117 yards rushing. Saints 17, Bengals 7. All of those are finals. These games are still in progress. Dallas leading Miami. It's 14-13 in the third period. Seattle out in front of the Jets. That one is now 13-0, also in the third period. Chicago going against San Diego, still another surprise. It's 10-3 Bears in the third. The ball game you're watching, of course, the Raiders out in front of the Chiefs at 17-0 at the half, and San Francisco leading LA at 17-10 in the third. We're getting set for a second half. Let's go back to Oakland. Merle Harmon and George Coons.
Thank you, Brian. Boy, what a wild day in the NFL, George.
It really is. You know, it's possible that all 3 division leaders tied for the division lead in the Western AFC Conference could lose today.
Okay, now Kansas City was held to less than 100 yards. In fact, about 57 or 8 yards total offense in this game so far in the first half. What's going to happen here? I mean, what does Kansas City have to do to put it together?
Well, they're going to have to throw maybe a little more possession-type pass. Delaney's not getting the running that he got in the 3 other games previous to this. They've got to put a lot of pressure on number 76, Roger Taylor, who is taking the place of number 60, Matt Herkenhoff, who was injured, and take it in before the first half was over. So they're going to have to put pressure on the offensive line, especially Taylor, since they want to run at number 73, Dave Browning, for the Raiders. That's where they got over half their yardage, running at Browning the last time Oakland and Kansas City played. So as a result, they've got to put some pressure on some people. They can't lose their poise. They've got to have the possession passes, get good field position, and then get it in.
Statistically, the first half looks like this. 72 yards total for Kansas City. 14 yards for the rush, 58 for the air. And, of course, Mark Wilson has gone for 158 yards through the air, 73 yards on the ground. So Oakland has dominated this first half. It is 17-0 as James Murphy gets ready to take the kickoff from Barr, and he pops it high. Let's see what Murphy can do with it from the 12. He's out to the 30. Kansas City has had many problems this afternoon as Braceland makes the tackle for the Oakland Raiders. Kansas City has had trouble finding that 50-yard line even, as Bill Kenny will bring along the sensational rookie Joe Delaney and James Hadnot with him in the backfield. The wide receivers, J.T. Smith, a burner, Henry Marshall, one of the best, and Herkenhoff gone for the day, but a lot of pressure on Roger Taylor, number 76, who will be his replacement. Let's see what the Chiefs can do from the 30. First play of the third quarter. Hadnot across the 30 to almost the 34, where Matt Millen, the second-year linebacker, makes the stop. And John Matuzak says, I'm glad somebody else makes a tackle once in a while around here. That's Big John and his cohorts up front. Pretty good threesome there.
I'll tell you, he can play the whole left side of that defensive line if he wants to.
And Hendricks, well, you know about him, what he can do. And Martin, the other outside linebacker, they're as good as you'll find. Lester Hayes, stick him gone, but Lester is still after those pass receivers, and he's ball hawking back there all the time in the secondary. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Play action. Kenny gets away from a tackler and completes this one out to Al Dixon, his tight end, and Dixon has the first down. At the 45-yard line, Randy McClanahan, 57, the linebacker, on the stop, and a Kansas City Chief is down. And it is Delaney, I believe, who's down for the second time today.
Well, that is another, again, that's another unfortunate circumstance if he's hurt again and goes out this time. We were talking about the possession-type passes. With great concern, they look at Delaney. And that's what Kansas City is trying to throw. If they lose Delaney, half their offense is gone. And they've got a long way to come back with 17 points down. We'll be right back after this commercial message.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
Down here in Texas, people know a good beer. Many choose the taste of my Schlitz. Just one glass will tell a lot of beer drinkers what I've known all along. You just can't buy a better tasting beer than Schlitz.
What do I really think? I think Schlitz tastes better than Miller.
Schlitz tastes really smooth.
Mr. Sellinger, your Schlitz tastes good. It really does.
I'm glad you like it.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer. We're gonna hit the road every day. Pontiac J car, Pontiac J. With the radio blast and we'll be cruising just as far as we can. Pontiac J car, J2000. You can come along with us cause we got a lot of things to do. Pontiac J car, and we'll have fun cause we're driving in our Pontiac J. Fun cause we're driving in our Pontiac J.
Pontiac, now the excitement begins.
He's punched his way to the top with devastating power. The man is hungry and he wants more. Be there when Johnny Bump City Bumpus steps into the ring against defending champion Willie Rodriguez for the USBA Junior Welterweight Championship. Live next Saturday on NBC Sports World.
Joe Delaney, who was blocking on that last play, starting it up very slowly.
You'll see him from the bottom of your screen coming in, number 37, taking on a 255-pound blitzing linebacker. And when you weigh 184 pounds, it's got to hurt to get hit like that. Didn't slow Mullen up by much. We've got a report coming in from New York. Let's go there right now.
George, thank you very much. Out at Shea Stadium, the Seattle Seahawks' Jim Zorn has just thrown a 27-yard touchdown past his favorite target, Steve Largent. Seahawks now on top 13-0. Point after was no good in the third quarter. Let's go back to Merle Harmon and George Coons.
Thank you, Byron Day. Keeping you up to date on all the scores from around the country as Kansas City puts the ball in play at its own 46-yard line, trailing 17-0. Billy Jackson is now in for Delaney. They fake the blitz, or do they? Here's Kenny going for it all, and J.T. Smith, incomplete. Lester Hayes had the coverage on the play at the 20. Otis McKinney, number 23, was back there to help Lester, but I'm sure Lester's saying, I don't need any help.
Another long pass, maybe a little better spiral would have given J.T. Smith the ball. Good coverage by Hayes. A perfect pass would have meant a big play. The pass was not perfect. Hayes had a chance to recover somewhat and knock it away.
Kansas City with a 2nd down and 10 from its own 46-yard line, trailing 17-0 in the third quarter. 13 minutes, 57 seconds to go in the third period. Lots of time for Bill Kitty and the Chiefs. Smith goes in motion. To the near side, incomplete. Kenny overshooting Henry Marshall. His wide receiver, Rod Martin and Lester Hayes coming. The report on Joe Delaney is he has bruised ribs, but he is expected back in the ball game. Tell you one thing, George, he stuck his head right in there on that linebacker coming. He wasn't afraid of him at all.
Well, that's a credit to him. He's a little bit foolish in doing that at times, but he'd rather do that than see his quarterback error. At 180 pounds, 185 pounds, picking up a 250-pound blitzer on a dead run is hard to do. They'd like to see Ted McKnight come back and split some more time with Delaney so that what you saw just occur doesn't happen again. That is, a small back getting beat up by much bigger blitzing linebackers.
The Raiders go to a 4-man front and the nickel defense. Great catch if it stays by number 87, Stan Rome. It is a reception at the 31-yard line. Dwayne Osteen had the coverage, and Kenny stayed right in there. It looked like he wouldn't be able to get the pass away, but he did.
Stan Rome displays on this replay great body control. Kenny looking for receivers, going right to Rome. He looks downfield and waits for him with great poise to make his break. Rome going away, reaching back with good body control, brings it in just off the ground. Nice catch.
Gain of 23 yards and a first down on the Raider 31. So maybe the Chiefs have something going now as Marshall splits to the left and Taylor to the right. Or Smith, I beg your pardon. Here's Smith coming back to the left side in motion. Black goes down as Kenny goes to the end zone, and it is picked up in the end zone by Otis McKinney. Let's see what the flag's about. The flag was thrown in the backfield of Kansas City. Al Dixon was in the pattern deep. Penalty against City. Holding penalty against the Chiefs. Obviously, Oakland will take over the football.
As you see, the ball going into the end zone.
Offensive holding, number 65. He refused.
Otis McKinney coming down with it, wisely deciding to stay in the end zone. What you didn't see on this replay is Ted Hendricks extending a 6'7" frame, causing a lack of visibility and an Otis McKinney reception. Again, we'll be back after this commercial message.
It's lightweight. It's portable. It's virtually indestructible. You can hammer on it, saw on it, sand on it, paint on it, drive a screw on it, cut a pipe on it, clean a door on it, fix a picture on it, or a wheelbarrow, or a chair, or a bicycle. You can even have your lunch on it. The incredible Black & Decker workmate. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
Now there's a place where they have their own authorized mechanics, quality parts and service, and prices you can afford. Now there's K-Care, found only at Kmart.
Why not change to the tire you don't have to change? The KM Special Radial, with 2 fiberglass belts and aggressive tread design. Goes through rain, mud, and snow, yet rides smooth on highways. Now the KM Special is sale priced as low as $31.97. Hey, we'll even rotate them every 5,000 miles at no charge. That's K-Care, only at Kmart.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is WDAF TV4, Kansas City.
Merle Herman and George Coons with you from the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum in Oakland, California, where the Raiders lead the Chiefs by 17-0 in the third quarter. Raiders have the ball at their own 20. Derek Jensen, the fullback, to the 22. Mike Bell, number 99, the defensive right end, stops the play for Kansas City. Delaney, we are told now, has either a bruised or possibly a broken rib and will probably not be back in the lineup today for Kansas City. So the Chiefs are losing their number one threat and the first breakaway runner they've had, number one threat on the ground and first breakaway runner they've had, I guess, since maybe Mike Garrett. And Jensen carries again for about a yard. It'll be 3rd down 7 as Whitney Paul, number 53, makes the tackle.
unless something goes right for the Kansas City offense in the second half, Oakland will have a chance to reciprocate that shutout that Kansas City put on them 2 weeks ago.
And we just may see Steve Fuller, who is loosening up on the sideline, into this ball game for Kansas City in the third quarter. 3rd down 7 for the Raiders. Kenny King. And King gets about 3, and that's all. They'll have to give it up on 4th down coming up as Lindstrom, number 71, the defensive left end, closed the play down. It'll be 4th down and 3 for the Raiders. And Steve Fuller, who was the starting quarterback last year, went down with an injury with 3 games to go. Bill Kenny came in, led the Chiefs, and got the starting job this year as Fuller had to recoup from knee surgery as J.T. Smith goes back to take the punt from Ray Guy, who's had quite a day. So the Kansas City Chiefs now hope to get good field position out of this punt by Guy. Third quarter, lots of time. The Raiders have been tough today, like the Raiders of old. What a boomer by Guy. Look at that ball go. And finally JT gets it at the 5 and dumped the 15 hard. Jeff Barnes, a linebacker, made the stop after a 68-yard kick by Ray Guy. And the Raiders lead it 17-0 as the Chiefs take over in the third quarter.
Let's get the numbers out of the way. This new 1982 Pontiac offers an EPA estimated MPG of 23 and a highway estimate of 34. Impressed? You should be, because now the excitement begins. This new Pontiac is the Bonneville Model G, a new lean breed of Bonneville with available diesel that puts smooth ride and quiet comfort in a new class. With room for 6 and all those fine car features that have always made Bonneville our most luxurious Pontiac.
IBM put a lot of what it knows about computers into the new IBM personal computer. Not to make it complicated, but to make it simple, so it's easy to understand and easy to use. IBM made its personal computer to help a person be more productive, to help a person be more creative. And those are good reasons for a person to feel good. The IBM personal computer, now at selected stores across the country.
You want to know why the Raiders are leading 17-0 in this game? Or at least part of the responsibility belongs to this man, Ray Guy.
Ray, at this occasion, unlaunches his 5th 60-yard kick of the year. All a receiver can do when it goes 68 yards is run back and try to catch it on the bounce, which is what happened.
Back to the live action, and Billy Jackson carries through the middle for Kansas City to the 19-yard line. Matt Millen, 55, the linebacker, made the tackle. Jackson has been primarily a short yardage runner, but he's in there right now for the injured Joe Delaney. He's a third-year man from Alabama. I beg your pardon, a rookie from Alabama. Very, very quick at 223 pounds and 5'10".
He led Alabama in rushing last year, which isn't too bad either.
Hadnot. Matuzak, number 72. Hendricks, 83. You're going against a guy 6'8 and 6'7 with that tandem.
Well, you know what Oakland is doing, and quite effectively right now, is slanting on their defensive front wall and not giving the Kansas City backs a chance to get a straight shot at the line of scrimmage. Instead of going straight ahead or running north to south, you see him running east to west, trying to fill that gap. Matt Millen acting as a lineman and filling in a great many circumstances today, trying to get into that hole where they think Kansas City will run. Obviously, Oakland's been effective in guessing where the running will be going.
Curtis Bledsoe is now on the backfield with James Hadnot for Kansas City. Slot to the left. Nickel defense for Oakland. They show the blitz. Safety man comes up. Kenny zips it to Marshall, and he is covered well at the 24-yard line by Burgess Owens, short of a first down. Owens was really hawking Marshall.
That was almost an early hit, but Burgess timed it perfectly for good coverage. Once again, Kansas City's got to give up the football, and Grupp hasn't been kicking that well.
Grupp has really kind of had an off season for the Kansas City Chiefs after being an All-Pro a couple of years ago. Ted Watts goes back for the reception for the Oakland Raiders. Grupp's long longest kick of the year, 57 yards. And they need a big one right now. Hangs it high. Watts takes it on his own 42. Flags go down as he goes to the 48. Todd Thomas on the special teams, 34-yard punt, 6-yard return. Thomas gets the tackle.
You know, as we wait for this penalty call, we see a clip being called by the officials against Oakland. Rupp is just consistently not turning the ball over. His yardage is decreased because the nose of the football isn't coming down as it should, as it does in a forward pass. It's hanging up there, causing the ball to spiral a little bit backwards, creating air pressure, which makes it short.
Flipping on the kick return, 43. First down.
Bob Fredericks leaves no doubt on that call. All right. 8:31 to go in the third quarter. We have a timeout in Oakland. It's the Raiders ball game so far, 17-0.
You want to know which caulks, fillers, and adhesives you can really depend on? DAP. They're the only ones I recommend. They're easy to use and last for years. That's why DAP is the name professionals trust most in caulks, fillers, and adhesives. So if you want products that are easy to use and last for years, take my advice. Insist on DAP, the most trusted name in caulks, fillers, and adhesives. Some people thought it was risky to taste test my Schlitz against other top beers on live TV. But not our people here at Schlitz. We figured a lot of beer drinkers would pick Schlitz over their beer. And they did. Second hopping, Russ?
Right.
In my 40 years as a master brewer, I've never been more proud of my people or my beer. We'll keep brewing great beer, so more of you will keep choosing it. Taste our Schlitz.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
Oakland has the football on the Raider 31-yard line. They put the ball in play today with good field position. In the first half, they had it on their own 48, the Kansas City 6. Their own 30, 44, 43, 32, 44, the Kansas City 48 and 21. They just haven't been pinned down today at all. Mark Wilson, little play action. King swinging to the right. Wilson going back over the middle. It is picked off. It is picked up by Whitney Paul. Paul at the 40. And flags go down as Paul gets to the 35-yard line. Will this be the break the Kansas City Chiefs need? A 12-yard return of the interception by Whitney Paul, who went 47 yards on a fumble recovery last week against Denver for a touchdown. Clip against Kansas City. Well, at least they have the football.
At least they have the football, and they have it in fairly decent field position. Whitney Paul dropped back, former defensive end, now a lot of speed playing linebacker, made a good effort to get the ball and returned it upfield for a distance, which is nullified by the clip. But still, Kansas City has the ball in good field position at their own 47-yard line, and a chance to get the ball in for a score with 8:20 to go in the third quarter.
Foul. Flipping on the return. First down.
So Kansas City clipped, and the ball will be put in play on the 47-yard line. Gary Spaney was guilty of the clip. The Chiefs are sending J.T. Smith to the right, Henry Marshall to the left. Bill Kenny still at quarterback. Fuller had been warming up earlier. Inside handoff. Look at that Oakland defense with Matuzak react on Billy Jackson. Twos, they're yelling.
By number 72, John Matuzak.
When you lose a key guy in your offensive line, things don't go exactly right. You see a little pull, a semi-trap. You'll also see number 76, Taylor, trying to take his man inside, but his man bottles up the hole, and the runner has no place to go. Billy Jackson trying to get something, getting nothing because of the good effort by the defensive line of the Oakland Raiders.
The Chiefs need a big play. They need to get on the scoreboard. They need to build the confidence in their offense. And this one, a little pass to the tight end to Al Dixon, gets him to midfield and into Oakland territory, but not much more. Matt Millen, 55, Burgess Owens, 44. Make the tackle on that one. The report on Joe Delaney is he probably will not be back this afternoon as we look at Matt Millen. Either a bruised or broken rib for the sensational rookie from Northwest Louisiana. And the Oakland Raiders are bringing on 5 defensive backs on this 3rd down and 5. and the Chiefs have had trouble converting on the third down situation so far this afternoon.
Well, they really haven't had any. They've had to go great distances. They couldn't run for that first down and third down situations. They're going to have to throw for another one.
They're 1 for 11. Let's see if they can get this one. Marshall trapped the ball. Underthrown by Bill Kenny. It is fourth down coming up for Kansas City. You know, if the Raiders go on and win this ball game, and should the Chicago Bears hold their lead over San Diego in Chicago, the Western Division of the AFC would still be in a three-way tie for first. But the Oakland Raiders would have suddenly projected themselves into the picture with a 4-4 record if they hold the lead, as Ted Watts is back to take the punt from Bob Grubb.
The Oakland defensive unit has not been shoddy. When Oakland's had problems this year, it's been with the offense. Oakland's defense, the fourth-rated defense in the AFC, and you're seeing a good reason why it's rated that highly today.
Grubb waiting. Bad snap. Grubb puts it upstairs, however.
Way uphill.
As they line the ball up, I don't think he's going to get too much on that one either. So the Raiders will take over as Grubb has had a rather unspectacular day in the punting department. The Raiders lead at 17-0 with 6:51 to go in the third quarter after a 24-yard kick by Grubb.
Look out, world. Here comes Ford.
We're out to prove a point on roads like this and roads like this. Whether you need the guts to take on Laguna Seca or the mileage to take on Elm Street, USA, just remember, there's only one company in the world that ever built a Mustang.
Here comes new. Here comes now. Here comes Ford.
Compare dandruff shampoos. There's good, there's better, and then there's Blue. Selsun Blue, the best dandruff shampoo money can buy. Clinical testing proved it works best, with more complete dandruff control than any leading shampoo. Only Selsun Blue has the anti-dandruff ingredient doctors prescribe most. Remember, there's good, there's better, and there's Blue. Selsun Blue. It simply works the best.
Merle Herman and George Coons with you at the Alameda County Coliseum in Oakland, California, where the Raiders, the defending Super Bowl champions, lead the Chiefs 17-0. Oakland has gone for 236 yards total offense today. Kansas City 124. Mark Wilson at quarterback. Derek Jensen. And Jensen across the 25 at the 26. Mike Bell is over there. Charles Jackson. Bell at 99. Jackson number 51. Second down, 8. We have 6 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. As Morris Bradshaw splits to the right, Branch goes to the left. Mark Wilson calls it. Wilson to the near side, intended for Derek Ramsey as tight end, and Whitney Paul was there to break up the play.
Receiver is Derek Ramsey.
Ramsey replaced Chester as a starting tight end after the loss to the Denver Broncos. He's a 4-year man from Kentucky. Raymond Chester now the backup. And, of course, over at left guard, a rookie, Kurt Marsh, number 60, replaced the veteran All-Pro Gene Upshaw as the Raiders made a 5-man shakeup after their first 2 shutouts. Didn't work for the next game, but it apparently helped last week against Tampa Bay. 5 defensive backs for Kansas City, third down, 8. Wilson to the near side. Branch, and he has a reception. Green there on the coverage. 10 yards and a first down to Cliff Branch.
As the game progresses and the score remains the same, you're going to see more of these possession-type down-and-out patterns here. Wilson again getting fairly good protection, hitting Branch on the sideline. Not all the distance he may have gotten, but enough for the first down. Right now, Oakland just wants to eat up that clock, keep Kansas City from getting the ball, use the people they have, use them wisely, get the first downs, and keep possession.
Flag goes down as Whittington carries, and Arthur is hit behind the line at the 34. Kurt Marsh pulled to lead the blocking. Gary Spaney was over there along with Whitney Paul, the linebackers, who are very active. Kansas City has a good quartet with Jackson, Spaney, Blanton, and Paul. And Thomas Howard is missing from the lineup. He's out with an injury. Mickey Marvin, I believe.
Illegal motion. Number 65
is
on
the
the offense. Refused. Second down.
Mickey Marvin, guilty of the infraction.
Second and 13 for the Raiders.
There's the baseball score from Dodger Stadium. The Yankees 1-0 on the top of the 6th. Second down, 13. Raiders 17-0. A trap. It is a trap. Morris Bradshaw went after that ball. Good coverage by Kansas City, and Bradshaw trapped the ball off the turf, and it is third down and 13.
This was really great effort by both athletes. As you see, Wilson once again dropping back with good protection. Lindstrom getting picked up on the inside by Lawrence. Throwing the ball. Good coverage by Green. Good attempt. Good body control by both individuals. Thank goodness an official was there to call it and call it accurately.
6 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Chiefs have not been able to get on the scoreboard today here in Oakland. Mark Wilson threw a touchdown pass to Bradshaw in the first quarter, ran for one in the second quarter, and a field goal in the second quarter, 17-0. Flag down again. And this time, intended receiver Arthur Whittington coming out of the backfield. Lloyd Burris, the rookie safety, the strong safety from Maryland, had the coverage. Holding, I believe, is the call against Oakland.
Offensive holding, number 60, refused. Fourth down.
Kurt Marsh, the rookie from Washington. And the first rookie starter on the offensive line since 1967 for the Raiders. Guilty of holding.
You know,
Chiefs refuse the penalty, and Oakland will punt it away.
With the addition of Marsh to the lineup, Earl, it gives the Oakland Raiders 1 year less offensive line experience than it gives the Kansas City Chiefs. And people regard Kansas City's offensive line as a fairly young unit.
Smith deep for Guy's punt. He's averaged 38.2. High snap. That doesn't bother him. He hangs that ball way up there. J.T. Smith calling for the fair catch. They're all around it. He's got the ball on the 31. Guy had a 68-yard punt his last time. He's had Kansas City deep in its own territory almost after every punt. 36-yarder on that one, but he got the job done. 5:48 to go in the third quarter as the Kansas City Chiefs take over again. Bill Kenny comes back on the field to lead the offense. He'll have Jack Rudnay at center, Brad Buddy and Tom Condon at the guards. Roger Taylor replaced Herkenoff at left tackle, Charlie Getty at right tackle, and Hednott and Jackson are the running backs. Be sure to join us next Sunday for host Brian Gumbel for NFL 81. All the highlights and more about that in a moment.
Easy for you, sir.
Yeah. First and 10. Kenny out of the pocket, looking, got the good strong arms, going to throw an interception. But it was broken up by Henry Marshall as he turned defensive back against Monty Johnson, who was about to make the interception. And he took a whack from the intended receiver, Henry Marshall.
That's when a receiver has to play defense. He's got to time his hit as well as a defensive man when he sees a possibility of an interception. Marshall, good heady play, came in there just in time to knock the ball away from Jackson right there, number 42. Kenny stepping back. He's got to go a little longer now, not necessarily because he wants to, but because he's got to catch up, and time is running out fairly slowly now, but still running out. There you see a perfectly timed hit by the offensive man to keep the defense from getting the ball.
Second and 10. Kenny under a rush, gets popped, but he completes it this time to Henry Marshall at midfield, and he is down to the 48-yard line. And the blitzing linebacker, Matt Millen, really nailed Bill Kenny, who is getting up very slowly back at the 20-yard line. But he completed that pass to Marshall for 21 yards and a first down. They put the ball on the 48-yard line. Monty Jackson is also down, and he made the hit. And let's go to New York now for an update.
Okay, Merle Harmon, thank you very much. Over at Shea Stadium, the Seahawks are really putting it to the Jets. Sherman Smith just blasted 4 yards for 6 points. A point after was no good, but the Seahawks are still on top, 19-3 in the fourth quarter. Merle?
Okay, Byron, and Seattle going for its second win. Boy, those Jets are up and down, aren't they?
Well, they really are. They've got good personnel in New York, too.
Seattle 1-6 going into the game today. The Jets 3-3-1. The Jets until, well, if they win that ball game, they become a factor in the AFC East. Buffalo has lost today. Seahawks have lost 15 out of the last 16. And Fuller stays loose on the bullpen. He is the bullpen quarterback today. But that's where he's been in the bullpen. So Jackson, the 7-year veteran from San Diego State, coming off under his own power, and Dwayne Osteen, whom Jackson beat out of the job a week or so ago, will replace him at the right cornerback spot.
Jackson came up here in '78 in a big trade from Los Angeles. They gave up, I think, a number 1 and a number 3 draft choice to get him. And people have been down on him because he hadn't been playing. Yet when he came in to replace Osteen last week, he did a great job. And he's been doing well and playing consistently. Now Osteen has a chance to see if he can do as well as Jackson has.
Fake pass and a handoff to Hadnot. A little trickery here. Hadnot, big running play. Down inside the 35, out of bounds around the 30. Burgess Owens chased him out. Bill Kenny going for a little trickery. Arm up in the air. Well, let's watch him.
A little bit of trickery, almost the Statue of Liberty, but Hadnot takes the ball. A player that Coach Levy says is 110% improved because of Delaney's addition to the ball club. Here he gets a great effort going, beats by 2 Oakland defensive backs, finally pushed out of bounds by Owens, but not before he got a good gain down to the Oakland 30.
So after an 18-yard pickup, the Kansas City Chiefs have a first down to the Oakland 30. And it looks like they might really be putting it together now here in the third quarter. Here comes the blitz, picked up well by Kansas City. Kenny wanting it all. Look out, Lester Hayes. Lester Hayes picks it off in the end zone. J.T. Smith was the receiver, and Hayes picks up his second interception of the year. And the third interception for Oakland this afternoon.
Lester Hayes, after number 2 in terms of interceptions for the year. Not a good pass by Kenny as he steps back, trying to go for all the marbles, simply overthrows his receiver. Hayes was behind his receiver. As you see here, the ball going right to Hayes. It looks almost as if Hayes beat the offensive man to catch the ball. Number 86, Smith, tackling them, but to no avail since Oakland gets the ball on their own 20-yard line after the Hayes interception.
The Raiders have a 17-0 lead. 4:54 to go in the third quarter in Oakland. Pitch goes back to Kenny King. King runs out of bounds around the 25. Gary Barbaro, number 26, the free safety, chased him out of bounds. So Kenny King, the third-year man from Oklahoma who came to the Raiders from the Houston Oilers in the Jack Tatum trade. They have King. Tatum is gone. Second down, 5 for the Raiders. Kenny is 8 for 25, 132 yards for the Kansas City quarterback, and 3 interceptions today. And we wonder if Fuller will come on when the Chiefs get the football again. Flag goes down. King on the sweep. King thrown down by number 53, Whitney. Paul, as we get a second flag. I believe we had movement on the Oakland right side of the line to start with. Then came a second flag. Illegal use of the hands by somebody. Ramsey, let's see what Bob Frederick says. Ramsey, I believe, was the offensive lineman.
Illegal was the offense, 84. 53 on the defense. Illegal use of the hands. They will offset, and we will replay the second down again.
So Whitney Fall guilty of the foul for Kansas City. Derek Ramsey moved too soon for Oakland. The Raiders have a 17-0 lead. 4:44 to go in the third quarter.
Now Oakland's going to have to switch a little of their strategy. Henry Lawrence just came to the sidelines, their offensive right tackle. Lindsey Mason going in, so we'll see if Lindstrom can do a little better against Mason than he did against Lawrence.
And Bruce Davis has moved in there also. Slot to the left. King stumbles, skips across the 25 to about the 27. Sweeney makes the tackle, and it'll be third down coming up. Let's go to New York.
Merrill out in Chicago, Dan Fouts has just thrown his 18th touchdown pass of the season. That leads the NFL. He connects with Charlie Joyner for 6 points. That's brought the Chargers into a tie at 10-all with Chicago Bears. Merrill?
All right, Byron, and those San Diego Chargers must be looking at the scoreboard and figuring, hey, we better get going against the Bears and win this game. 3rd down 2. Wilson, complete to Branch. He's got the first down to the 35. Eric Harris, one of the fine cornerbacks in the league, but Branch is a tough guy to cover. He's still got the 9.2 speed. In his 10th year out of the University of Colorado. A gain of 10 and a first down. They spot the ball at the 37.
Well, things are getting tougher consistently for Kansas City. Now Wilson, again, can take those short passes and work them to perfection for the type of consistent game he needs to keep that ball in his possession. Branch getting a first down. Oakland has at least another 2 minutes on the clock they can eat up.
Out of the backfield, Jensen. And Jensen to the 45 for an 8-yard gain. 53, Whitney Paul. 57, Jerry Blanton. The linebackers make the tackle. And Wilson, who at 6'6", and with those very long arms, as you saw there, just reached way up into the air, spotted his running back right over the line, and gets 8. 2nd down 2. We're reaching the 3-minute mark to go in the 3rd quarter. As Branch goes wide to the left, Bradshaw to the right for Oakland. Wilson, lots of time going for Bradshaw, and it's picked off for the Kansas City Chiefs, Gary Green. Gary Green on the interception for the Kansas City Chiefs, and they take over the football inside their own 30-yard line.
Gary Green, a good defensive back. Wilson looking one way. All of a sudden, with all that time, once again, looking at his secondary receiver, but Green with a great effort and good leaping ability, stepping right in front of Morris Bradshaw to pick it off. One of these plays made by the Kansas City defense, which has been playing steadily now, has to help their offense get going, or Kansas City can write this off. They've got to make the big play on offense, just as their Kansas City defense has made the big play in this particular instance.
And Steve Fuller is in for the first time this year for the Kansas City Chiefs. Fuller to head nut to the line of scrimmage. Johnny Robinson, the nose tackle, or middle guard, if you will, makes the tackle. So they get about 2, maybe 3. Make it 2, 2nd down 8.
Johnny Robinson, number 68, strong upper body, plants himself, wraps his arms around the offensive back, takes him down. A rookie from Louisiana Tech, big addition in the 4th round to this Raider ball club. One young man they say they can grow with in a big way.
Steve Fuller, 3rd-year man from Clemson at 6'4", 198, back for his first pass of the year. He connects to J.T. Smith on the 40-yard line for a first down. Otis McKinney, the strong safety, had the coverage. Fuller went out last year with a knee injury, missed the last 3 contests, had surgery to correct a torn cartilage. Bill Kenny stepped in, won the job. Steve Fuller, been sitting, waiting, has been ready to play. He had the job firmly in hand as the 1980 season opened, finished the year as the AFC's 4th-rated quarterback behind Seif, Fouts, and Morton. So here he is in his 81 debut. Great catch on the 46-yard line. A tremendous catch by J.T. Smith. Lester Hayes, the cornerback, got him down after a 13-yard pickup at a first down on the 45-yard line of the Oakland Raiders.
Steve Fuller, the number 1 draft choice in 1979, probably as good as anyone when it comes to passing. Matt Millen, equally as good on defense at 255 pounds, trying to be nifty in the defensive secondary, and it's hard to be nifty when you're 255, as you saw right there. But he was back in coverage in time to tell Smith that he was there just in case he'd gotten away from Lester Hayes, number 37.
Slot left. That's Smith in motion. Thrown for a 2-yard loss by Johnny Robinson, number 68, the nose tackle, the rookie from Louisiana Tech. He beat Dave Pear out of the job. A lot of nose tackles that say you're welcome to it.
Well, Dave Pear, I know, would like to be back in football, but it's a credit to Robinson. Pear, a former Pro Bowler. Robinson comes in and takes a position away, makes the ball club, and has big expectations. What else can a young man want in a game like this?
Loss of 2, 2nd down, 12. 2 sacks by Oakland today for 12 yards and losses. 5 defensive backs on the field now for the Raiders as they go into their nickel defense. 2nd and 12. Oakland's going to be offside unless Kansas City drew him off. Fuller again under pressure. Fuller running and sliding inside the 30 to about the 29. And I'll tell you something. Dwayne Osteen did a smart thing there. Nobody had touched Fuller. He could have gotten up and gone again. And Osteen ran over and touched him to put him down.
Steve Fuller, #1 draft choice. People say a better athlete than Kenny, who leads by example. Here, once that defensive line comes towards you, you have a void between the line and the linebacking core. Wisely goes down, should not let go of the ball before he was touched.
Offside, number 90, refused.
Kansas City will take the game. Offsides against Oakland. So Fuller is moving the Chiefs and moving them well with 37 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Ball on the 29-yard line of the Raiders. Al Dixon, number 84, looking into that huddle saying, throw the ball to me, Steve. First down. Fuller an inside handoff. That's Billy Jackson. Jackson busted out across the 15 to the 10. He's gone. Touchdown. A 29-yard touchdown run for Billy Jackson, the rookie from Alabama. So the Chiefs finally get on the scoreboard. It's been a frustrating day so far.
A play right in the middle, giving the ball to Jackson, who takes it and breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Bursts into the secondary, and the man who led Alabama in rushing last year breaks another tackle downfield. A great individual effort. You didn't see too much downfield blocking by the receivers of Kansas City, but you saw a great effort by that man right there, Billy Jackson.
Now the hold by Fuller and the extra point try. Lowry puts it right through the middle. So we're down to 29 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. And the Kansas City Chiefs, after being frustrated for the first 3 quarters, are on the scoreboard. It is 17-7. And Billy Jackson, who replaced Joe Delaney, gets the TD on the 29-yard run. He was a 7th-round draft choice. Now it's going to be interesting to see what the Kansas City defense, can they react to this offensive drive?
Well, Kansas City's defense got this thing going. They've got the points on the board. They provided a little bit of a catalyst for the offense. Now the offense has added a little more fuel to the fire. They're giving the defense a chance to add to it, creating a larger blaze, something that they can get going and get some points back on the scoreboard. They've got 10 points to go before it's tied, 11 before they can consider it a win. But these guys can do it if they keep the same attitude. They've got 15 minutes, 29 seconds left in the game, 29 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. So they've got plenty of time. It's just a matter of keeping the poise that they're trying to develop. Now, the Seagulls haven't set their clock back here. With the time change, they usually get into the ballpark after the game and pick up the goodies left on the field by the fans. They're going to have to wait a while today.
They can leave that ball alone. Woodington deep in the end zone is going to run it out. He was 3 yards deep. He's out to the 10, at the 15, and the Chiefs cover him well at the 17-yard line. Make it the 18-yard line. Ed Beckman on the special teams, a tight end, was down to make the stop after a 21-yard return. So the Chiefs go 72 yards on 6 plays with Jackson getting the payoff. The ball at the 18. 17-7, Oakland. The Raiders shut out 3 games in a row. Bounced back last week to beat Tampa Bay. Jumped into a 17-0 halftime lead against Kansas City. Now it's a 3rd quarter with 20 seconds to go, and Mark Wilson at quarterback. Wilson to Derek Jensen, and Jensen on a slant to the 24, stopped by Lloyd Burris, number 34, the strong safety. Pretty good game there by Derek Jensen, the 3rd-year man from Texas Arlington. He started the last 4 games in place of the injured Mark Van Egan as we count down the clock. And the 3rd quarter has come to an end, and the Seagulls are here in Oakland. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. The score, Oakland 17, Kansas City 7, and we'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Then,
Surprise, Sydney!
Patty and Sydney are reunited as the hit movie becomes a series.
Don't take Patty back to California.
The premiere of Love, Sydney, and Quincy falls in love. Can he save her from a mysterious killer? It's an all-new night Wednesday.
Walton's been manufacturing fine men's clothes for years. We employ many people right here in our own factory. At Walton Clothes Factory Store, you buy these same quality suits, sport coats, and slacks direct from the manufacturer and save. Choose from a huge selection of sizes, styles, and colors. Imagine quality tailored men's clothing at manufacturer's prices. Why shop anywhere else? Walton Clothes Factory stores are located in Merriam and Independence.
When was the last time you had your favorite candy bar? When was the last time you had a eat? Is it that real milk chocolate that you crave? Or that almond toffee underneath? When was the last time you had your favorite candy bar?
How long has it been?
Too long. When was the last time you had a eat?
Watch This Week in Entertainment Sunday night at 11:30 on TV4.
Merle Harmon and George Coons with you in Oakland, where the Raiders lead the Chiefs by a score of 17-7. A very, very big ball game for each club. The Raiders, if they can hold on to this lead, and if Chicago can beat San Diego, things would get very interesting in the AFC West. And could it be the Raiders will be at it again? Off to a bad start last year, they went to the Super Bowl and won it. Mark Wilson, second down, 4. Pitching it to Kenny Kang, and Kang has the first down across the 30. Moving out to about the 32, where Ken Kramer, number 91, the nose tackle, and Lloyd Burris, 34, the strong safety, and right linebacker Charles Jackson, 51, make the tackle.
From Los Angeles is lead number 5 in the World Series.
So the Raiders still are holding the edge in statistics. Possession time, almost even. We've got a timeout. We've got an injured Kansas City Chief, I believe, Mike Bell, number 99, going to the sideline, but doesn't really want to go to the sideline. Dino Mangiero might be coming in now as Mike Bell, who's been injury prone. He had shoulder surgery last year. This time it's not the shoulder, he's limping.
Mike Bell, a young man they expect a lot of things from in the future. And with Art still gone, more pressure on him. Now, number 74, Mangiero, just picked up again this week at the bottom of your screen, filling Bell's shoes in a tight situation.
Mark Wilson goes down on the 24-yard line. Mangiero on his first play with Gary Spaney on a blitz.
Wilson, who looks an awful lot like Ray Guy, setting up, looking left, then coming back to the same position, but doesn't have a chance. Spaney right there, taking him down. We'll be right back. We're going to New York for an update, then back here in Oakland for more action.
George, out in Chicago, the Bears have just scored. Punching it over from 3 yards out, Walter Payton. They're now on top of the Chargers, 17-10. There's less than 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
All right, Byron, the draw goes to Arthur Whittington, and Whitney Paul stops him. So they had they had a second down and 18. The ball is moved to the 30-yard line, where it'll be third down and 13. And Byron, thank you for the report from the Chicago-San Diego game. 3 minutes left, as Byron reported. And boy, what an upset that would be, and what a topsy-turvy Western Division of the AFC we would have if Oakland holds the lead. But Kansas City, now a big play on third down. Big play for the Kansas City defense. 5 defensive backs in. Wilson under a rush, runs out of it. Heads to the sideline, cuts upfield. He's going to get what he can. He does not get the first down. Flags go down, though. He may have been hit out of bounds. Whitney Paul, who was chasing him and pursuing him. And if Kansas City gets the flag, that's going to be a big, big mistake for the Chiefs, and it is. A penalty against Kansas City.
A big mistake by the Chiefs as we see the yardage being marked off. Wilson clearly trying to get out of bounds, and those officials are going to protect that quarterback. We see Whitney Paul there making an aggressive mistake. That's the kind of a mistake that doesn't hurt the quarterback and that the coaches can take at a time.
On the defense, first down.
But the result of that aggressive mistake is an additional 15 yards against his ball club.
And possession, because they would have had a fourth down coming up. Bruce Davis comes back in at right tackle, spelling Henry Lawrence again for the Oakland Raiders. Art Shell is the other tackle. The guards are Marvin and Marsh. The center is Sylvester. Oakland goes to the run. Kansas City reacts on Derek Jensen to knock him down on the 45-yard line after a 1-yard pickup. And number 74, Dino Mangiero from Rutgers, and Charles Jackson, 51, the linebacker, stopped the play.
Number 74, Mangiero, being tested. Oakland wants to see how much he knows playing the end position. So they're trying to run small little traps over there. Spaney is going to have to fill because Mangiero will get trapped, and at times, with a much bigger Mickey Marvin, get blown out a little bit. So as a result, more pressure on the linebackers and fewer defensive linemen for Kansas City with Bell out.
Wilson to the air, to the far side, and it is caught but out of bounds by Bradshaw. The coverage by Gary Green. Tell you, if Green comes up with an interception there, it's a quick 6 for Kansas City.
Boy, that's for sure. Gary Green had been a very good defensive back since 1977. And they feel that Eric Carter, number 44, is developing along those same lines to give them a good set of corners. And they are being tested today, believe me, with those short down and out patterns by a very young Mark Wilson.
Deron Cherry comes into the backfield for Kansas City, giving them the nickel defense is Cherry, Barbaro, Burris, Harrison, Green in the secondary for the Kansas City Chiefs. 3rd down, 9. What kind of a rush can Kansas City get? A good one. And Wilson goes down at the 45-yard line. Ken Kramer, the nose tackle, fired through there, and it's 4th down. 4th down, almost 18 yards to go.
One of the things that Kansas City was trying to do in leaving Kramer inside was to test Steve Sylvester, number 66. Sylvester got in trouble with Kramer that time. Kramer got the better of him, and the Kansas City strategy of leaving Kramer inside proved to be effective.
Right now, it'll be up to Ray Guy again, who has been a key man in this ball game today as Wilson discusses the situation on the sideline. Guy has just been tremendous. J.T. Smith will be back deep for Kansas City. Smith, one of the fine punt returners in the league, but it's tough to return punts against Ray Guy. Not much on that one, though. Kansas City is going to come out of this one in great shape. Ray Guy got a big rush from Kansas City, and that might be one of the shortest kicks that he'll have all year. With 11:39 to go in the ball game, Oakland leads 17-7, and Guy had a 13-yard kick.
You can get this Xerox desktop copier for just how much?
It lists for $29.95.
Just $29.95 for the quality and reliability.
Look, it could be a couple hundred less with trade-in.
Just $27.95 for
many trade-ins run around to $500.
Just $24.95.
Trade-ins go as high as $1,000 or more.
Just $19.95.
They also help you finance it at low interest rates.
Get this Xerox copier for just $29.95 and down. Find out how far down, call Xerox.
I didn't bother you, did I?
Unleash the spirit. Unleash the spirit. Blue Stratos.
Blue Stratos, the spirited new men's cologne and aftershave, as brisk and bold as the open sky.
Blue Stratos.
Blue Stratos, for the free spirit in man.
Unleash the spirit. Unleash the spirit. Blue Stratos.
Thursday, Different Stroke starts the new season on a different night.
Gotcha.
And raise the roof with laughter on Gimme a Break.
You'll love it.
The Kansas City Chiefs down by 10. If they can pull it out today and win this ball game, if the Bears beat San Diego, they would take sole possession of first place in the Western Division of the AFC. If they don't win it and San Diego loses to Chicago, we'd still have a 3-way tie in the West, but the Raiders would move into the picture with a record of 4-4 as Steve Fuller brings the Chiefs offense to the 41-yard line with Jackson and Hadnot as the running backs. Fuller right over the middle to his tight end, Al Dixon, for the first down. He got about 11 on the play. Matt Millen made the tackle. Let's go to Byron Day in New York.
Okay, Merlin, Texas Stadium, the Dolphins opening up over the Cowboys. David Woodley throwing this 4-yard touchdown pass to Joe Rose. He just broke the single-game passing record in Dolphins history, 27-14 in the fourth.
Thank you, Byron. Boy, that's some game in Irving, Texas. They soon. Second down, inches to go. Dixon in motion, set to the left side as a tight end. Hadnot gets the first down to about the 47-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Ted Hendricks, 83, in there on the tackle. Johnny Robinson, 68. Matt Millen, 55. Brad Buddy leading the blocking. His father, of course, Ed Buddy, a 14-year veteran with the Kansas City Chiefs. Matt Millen's had quite a day.
Well, he fills the screen when he's on it, too, doesn't he?
Sure does. He reminds me of George Coons when George was playing. As recently as last year.
Yeah, but I couldn't cover in the defensive secondary the way that Matt can.
First and 10, Kansas City. 10-19 to go in the game. Something went wrong there. Busted play on the handoff to Hadnot, and Browning and Robinson, two of the three men up front, were all over Hadnot.
And Oakland's whole team was coming that time. Fuller taking the snap, doesn't really have a chance to do anything because of a miscue with his back. And if he could be called for face mask grabbing, he would be. As a result of that, most of the Raider defense is in there to greet the offensive back carrying the ball, and Kansas City loses about 4 yards.
Willie Jones comes in. They switch to the nickel defense.
Second and
comes into the line. It is second down, 13 after a 3-yard loss on the 49-yard line of Kansas City. The Chiefs trail by 10. Fuller under a rush, gets it away, and it's caught by Dixon. Al breaks the tackle at the 30. He's at the 25. He is out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. Big Al Dixon, the 6'5", 235-pound tight end from Iowa State, hauling it in for 26 yards. He's a tremendous athlete, a three-sport collegiate star at Iowa State, football, baseball, and basketball, and he used those basketball hands on that one.
Well, I'll tell you, Al Dixon, again, drafting two tight ends, number 1 and number 3, in your draft. Dixon saw a challenge. He's had a bad hamstring, but he's answering it. Fuller throwing a passer. He throws more to the person and not the pattern. Hit Dixon. Dixon took it up with some extra effort and gives his team an opportunity.
9:22 to go in the game. The ball on the 24. Billy Jackson nailed at the 25 by Randy McClanahan, the linebacker. Rod Martin, the other linebacker on the right side, helping out. The ball on the 25, a loss of a yard, second down and 10.
You know, I think I stated it once before, but the whole complexion of an offense changes when a key individual on the offensive line is gone. In this particular case, number 60, Herkenhoff, the left tackle, was taken out, is being replaced by a rookie, a first-year man, Roger Taylor. Kansas City has been very successful running at Browning. Browning is being more successful versus Taylor. As a result, that running game is a little bit more.
Fuller is down on his own 33. Cedric Hardman, who came in with that last defensive unit, they had 5 backs. Cedric Hardman, an 11-year veteran, former San Francisco 49er, and a guy they used to call Nasty, makes the play.
Lester trying to get a shove in there, gets his hand on him beyond that 5-yard zone. You better watch that or he could be called. His receiver, good coverage on Smith. So he was there with his receiver, but again, those officials watching that bump after 5 yards downfield.
The Chiefs lost 8, and it's 3rd and 19. Here comes the charge. Fuller's got an open field. He's going to outrun Matuzak. Look at him go. Out of bounds on the 10-yard line. And the Chiefs are upset, thinking Fuller took an extra shot on the sideline by Burgess Owens. And they go flying down the sideline to challenge the officials' call. And here come the flags now, and that might be against Kansas City. And Marv Levy is livid. Marv Levy thought that Burgess Owens put a cheap shot on Kenny on the 10-yard line, and almost the entire sideline of Kansas City went firing down there. And then came the yellow flag.
Fuller going down the field, a wide open field with number 72, John Matuzak.
On the Kansas City bench. First down.
Again, Fuller taking a step, seeing the coverage is there with Matuzak right in your screen. decides to take it upfield after eluding the rush. And the only person you'll see near him, if he's there at all, is Matuzak. But out of the corner, defensive back coming up to push him out of bounds. A good call, not a cheap shot, taking him out of bounds. People in Kansas City's sideline being a little upset, saying it was a cheap shot. But officials don't like to take abuse, even if it's from the bench. They saw Kansas City with a very costly 15-yard penalty, taking the ball out to the 25.
Fuller got 23 yards on the play, and the penalty from the spot of the foul brings the ball back to the 25, but it's a first down Kansas City with 8:02 left to play. The foul after the play was dead. Fuller with some time, but does he have a receiver? He can't find him. Rod Martin, the linebacker, got him from behind to the 29. A loss of 4 yards to make it 2nd and 14.
Big play by Rod Martin. Fuller has a chance to get his team in the end zone, looks downfield, sees nothing there, and tries to do the same thing, go the same way as before. In this instance, Rod Martin was blitzing, got Fuller from behind for a 4-yard loss. Kansas City, if they can get the ball in now, is in great shape. If not, they surrender time on that clock, which is becoming more of a factor with 7:40 to go in the fourth quarter.
5th sack of the day of the Oakland defense. Wide receivers out on each side for Kansas City. Fuller under pressure. Now he spots a man, but he's double covered, and we may get a flag at noon. Henry Marshall double covered by Watts 41 and Owens 44, and you can see that flag coming. So the Chiefs will have a 1st and goal.
Defensive pass interference, number 44. 1st down and goal.
Burgess Owens gets the flag, the 9-year veteran from Miami of Florida, who used to be a New York Jet. The ball will be put on the 3-yard line, and Kansas City down by 10, knocking on the door now with a lot of time. Ed Beckman has come in as a tight end. Kansas City will have Dixon and Beckman as the tight ends.
Beckman, from a wing position, runs a trap that has been very successful in short yardage with Kansas City.
There he is. And the carry, touchdown. Billy Jackson, and you saw Beckman, as you called it there, George Coons. You saw Beckman go in motion, and you saw Billy Jackson going right behind him.
Well, now, again, very successful play for Kansas City down on the goal line and in short yardage. You see Jackson going right behind number 85, Beckman, who leads the way around the left side, gets the ball in the end zone. A good job by the left side of the line. Taylor, Buddy, Rudney helping out there, the 12-year veteran, and a good job by Beckman, number 85, who has that as a specialty in those short yardage situations.
Try 17-13. Fuller to hold.
Nick Lowry to try the extra point.
Oakland leads by 3. 7 minutes, 20 seconds to go in this ball game. The Kansas City Chiefs finally putting points on the board. It is now Oakland 17, Kansas City 14, and we'll return in a moment.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
The people in St. Louis know their beer, but as a master brewer...
Schlitzer.
Thank you. I know one taste of my Schlitz can change a lot of minds. And now more people know.
I like Schlitz better than Bud.
I'm a Miller drinker, but you have to taste Schlitz to believe it.
Mr. Sillinger, your Schlitz tastes good. It's a good tasting beer.
Here's to it.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
You're looking at the enemy of your engine. Abrasive dirt in the oil. It can wear your engine out. Motorcraft oil filters fight the enemy. Motorcraft FL1A oil filters trap more dirt. Last longer than any other leading filter. Motorcraft oil filters for the future of your car, for sure. Now get up to $9.50 in total refunds on these Motorcraft products.
Our cameras have followed his remarkable boxing career since the very beginning. Be ringside when Johnny Bump City Bumpus steps into the ring for the USBA Junior Welterweight Championship. Live next Saturday on NBC Sports World.
Billy Jackson's 2 touchdown runs here in the second half of 29 and 3 yards has catapulted Kansas City right back into this ball game as Nick Lowry will be kicking off. Chester Willis and Arthur Whittington are deep for the Oakland Raiders. We have 7 minutes and 20 seconds to play. It's going to Whittington at the 7. Good return by Whittington, but down he goes shy of the 30-yard line. Raiders take over after a 21-yard return by Whittington, and we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
You're watching WDAF TV4, Kansas City.
Merle Herman and George Coons with you in Oakland, California. The Raiders led 17-0 at halftime. But here in the second half, the Chiefs have finally started to put it together. Oakland's lead has been cut to 3. Branch splits to the left side, Bradshaw to the right. Bangiero, Lindstrom, and Kramer up front in a 3-man front for Kansas City, and they react quickly on the handoff to Whittington. And he gets very, very little.
You can see that, number 61, Parrish, rallying his troops around him. They've started something now. The offense and the defense building on one another. They've got the ball game back in perspective with 6:51. Dallas and Miami, what a game going on. 28-27 Dallas at this time in the fourth quarter.
Second down 9 for Oakland. Wilson over the middle of Whittington, almost intercepted. Gary Spaney and Charles Jackson were there close as Whittington got his hands on the football, and those linebackers were oh so close. Kansas City in 9 plays going 59 yards, being stung with a penalty, but then getting it right back, the ball even deeper in Oakland territory on defensive pass interference against Oakland. Third down 1, big third down for Mark Wilson. Still in the pocket, and it's incomplete. Ramsey covered by Charles Jackson. So the Kansas City defense holds. They used about 1 minute of the clock.
Wilson dropping back behind fairly good protection. Every defensive lineman Kansas City has as healthy as in the game. Throwing the ball to Ramsey. Ramsey, a very catchable ball, really, hit by number 51, Charles Jackson. So right now, Ray Guy has to pull out another big punt. His last big one was 68 yards. And we'll see if Ray can match it again to keep his field in fairly good defensive field position.
And let's see if J.T. Smith can get some kind of a return for Kansas City. A boomer. But J.T. is back for this one. Let's see what he can do. He is pulled down back at the 17-yard line. Tremendous pursuit by Jeff Barnes, the linebacker. A great job by Jeff Barnes, a 56-yard kick by Ray Guy. And Kansas City will take over the football with 6:19 to go and trailing by 3 points, and we'll return to Oakland in just a moment.
Good service is no big thing. It's a million little things. That's why every Avis car gets 9 safety checks, 7 comfort checks, and 6 cleanliness checks. Matter of fact, the average Avis car is better maintained than the average family car. See, Avis knows good service is making a big deal about little things. Right? Trying harder is still the best way to do business.
Dear Atari Anonymous, my son Boris has a missile command problem.
My mission in life is to save all of mankind.
Lately, my daughter has developed a similar problem with Atari warlords. Now with video pinball, my husband is acting funny lately. With Atari games so ingenious, so involving, so intense, I ask you, Atari Anonymous, is this problem contagious?
In Chicago, San Diego and the Bears are tied and in overtime. As you know, Denver lost today to the Buffalo Bills on 3 field goals by Nick McMeyer. One coming with about, 1 to 4 seconds left. We have 2 different reports on it to win that game. First down, Kansas City. The ball on the 17. Fuller running, sliding at the 20. Johnny Robinson covered him. He got maybe 3. Second down, 7.
It's interesting. Almost every time Fuller is running out of the pocket, he's running to his left side, as if to say that He knows Matuzak is going to stay in there closer, being more of a plugger, and he knows that number 73 Browning is going to be coming upfield, more of a pass rusher. So every time he tries to escape that rush, he has been going to his left.
The Chiefs with a second down 7, 5:43 to play in the game. Fuller dumps it over the middle to Al Dixon, the tight end. He's got a first down at the 34. Ted Hendricks, the linebacker, made the tackle after a 14-yard pickup, and all of a sudden Al Dixon has become a very big man in this ball game.
Al Dixon and that man right there, Steve Fuller. Fuller, the first-round draft choice, has been riding the bench for a while. Once again, takes a look upfield and finds Dixon, a man supposedly with a bad hamstring, whose job was in question earlier this year, in training camp, as a matter of fact. Catches the ball, takes it up for another first down.
That's the 14th first down of this half for Kansas City. Oakland has had 4. Fuller on a screen, going to Billy Jackson, and Jackson doesn't get too much on that one. At about the 36, Matt Millen, the linebacker. Ted Hendricks, the other linebacker, 55 and 83. Stopped Billy Jackson, who is filling in for the injured Joe Delaney. We have had no further report on Delaney as to whether he has bruised ribs or a cracked rib. But Billy Jackson, the 5'10", 223-pound rookie from Alabama, has come on to score 2 touchdowns for Kansas City here in the second half, 1 of 29 yards and 1 of 3. 5 defensive backs on now for Oakland on second down, 7. Fuller wants a timeout. He saw something up there on the line that he didn't like. So Fuller will go to the sideline. This is his first game of the year. 4 minutes, 17 seconds left to play. Kansas City in possession. The ball on the Kansas City 36. The Chiefs trail by 3.
Germany, home of Volkswagen. What's a Mazda GLC doing here? Making a point about outstanding value in an economy car. Because while the sophisticated GLC offers the performance, economy, and versatility you expect in a front-wheel drive economy car, it offers it at a price you most certainly don't expect. The more you look at some of the finest economy cars in the world, the more you like the 1982 Mazda GLC.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
Schlitz is downright good. I think it's even better than Miller.
I'm from Germany. I do think I know a bit about beer, and this is really good beer.
Hey, I'm loyal to my bud, but I think Schlitz beat it out.
I like the taste of Schlitz. It's as simple as that.
In 40 years as a master brewer, this Schlitz is my smoothest. Have you tasted my Schlitz?
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
Kansas City down by 3. 4:17 left to play in this ball game. The Raiders led 17-0 at halftime and dominated the first half. Steve Fuller coming on in the third quarter is 6 out of 6 for 77 yards. Stan Rome is now as a wide receiver for Kansas City. Monty Jackson, the quarterback for Oakland, is on the sideline still. Fuller going to that side, and he's got the completion at about the 47 to Stan Rome. The 6'5", 3-year man from Clemson. It was a basketball player at Clemson. In fact, he played some with the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's a first down for Kansas City after an 11-yard pickup.
There he is, a former basketball player. Fuller throwing to the side with 2 wideouts, using one to clear the other out, and Stan Rome was the one he decided to hit on that play. Good reach, good jumping ability at 6'5", 218.
You know who's a leading rusher for Kansas City today?
Fuller.
3 rushes, 43 yards. Delaney, by the way, is still in uniform and on the sideline. Kansas City trailing by 3. First down to the KC 47. Here comes the blitz. Fuller swings it out to head, not coming out of the backfield, and he is bulldogged down on the 48-yard line by Ted Hendricks. And the flag is dropped. Will be headed by the face mask or not?
Well, I think it was on Otis McKinney. Otis came in and took a semi-late shot. It wasn't even a great effort at a late shot. But the officials, trying to protect the runner, decided to go ahead and call it on McKinney.
Look at the frustration on the face of Ted Hendricks.
There's a man who a few hours ago was smiling very widely, now showing a little more concern and questioning the official who's standing over him.
15 big ones coming up against Oakland.
We'll see the replay here as Hendricks grabs a hold.
Personal foul. Spearing defense, number 23. First down.
That was a late shot. Pardon me. We had a different angle up here, and seeing it from our end zone, you can see that McKinney did try to stick his helmet in there and take it away from Hadnot.
At the 32 of Oakland, first down, Kansas City. 4 minutes, 5 seconds left. Oakland 17, Kansas City 14. We've seen 2 ball games today. A first half and a second half. Fuller zips it over the middle, incomplete, intended for Marshall, who tried to make a diving catch. Pass incomplete. Now let's go to Bryant Gumbel in New York for an update.
Merle, down in Texas, it would seem the Cowboys are going to hold on to beat the Dolphins. 50 seconds left. David Woodley tries, but instead finds Everson Walls his 8th interception of the year, and the Cowboys are out in front by a point with 50 seconds to play. Merle?
Bryant, that game is kind of finishing like this one has started to finish. Second down, 10 at the 32 of Oakland. Can Kansas City pull it out? Stan Rome is into the game. Dixon is out as a wide receiver. Second and 10. Fuller in the pocket, throwing over the middle. He's got his man inside the 25. Henry Marshall, his favorite target, and Burgess Owens yanks him down. That's short of a first down. They'll have about, well, wait a minute. They're going to have less than I thought to go for a first down. The ball spotted near the 22. Third down and inches to go for the Kansas City Chiefs with 3 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in the ball game as Dixon returns at tight end and Rome goes out for Kansas City.
Good pattern, good throw by Fuller. Didn't get the full 10 yards, but he's got, at this stage of the game, 2 more shots to get that extra yard and a half he needs for a first down and get down to the 20-yard line. Defensive backs of Oakland laying off a little farther. Fuller coming back underneath for the pattern.
Fuller 8 out of 9 passing in this half. Billy Jackson bangs for the first down. He really hit a stone wall. We have a timeout. We may have to measure this.
Referee.
Randy McClanahan and Matt Millen, the linebackers, filled the hole. Clock is stopped. 3 minutes, 8 seconds remaining in the game. We were all saddened this week to learn of the passing of our good friend Lynn Farris, a well-known sportscaster in Kansas City in the past. Lynn succumbed to cancer this week, and we send our sympathy and our condolences to Lynn's family. Any part of the ball will do it. First down, Kansas City. Lynn loved these Chiefs. First down on the 22-yard line.
You know, Kansas City is displaying a lot of poise, a lot of what the Raiders like to call their own attributes. Being down and coming back, getting this close, possibly getting ahead at this time.
First down, under 3 minutes to play. Marshall, the man in motion. Billy Jackson hitting to the 20. Burgess Owens on the tackle. Clock showing 2:36 and counting. The Chiefs have Nick Lowry if they need him. Lowry from the 20 to 29-yard area, 3 out of 3 from 30 to 39, 5 out of 5. Right now, the Chiefs aren't thinking of tie, they're thinking of win. Right now, the Oakland defense is thinking of stop the offense of Kansas City. Kansas City letting the clock run. 2 minutes, 8 seconds. Fuller going for it all. He's got J.T. Smith, incomplete. Flag goes down. A late flag against Lester Hayes. Lester Hayes saying, who me?
That call.
Pass interference. Number 37 in the end zone. First down, 1-yard line.
That call was close. Fuller going back, looking right, looking for 89 Marshall. Or 86 Smith, pardon me. You'll see it. We are blocked, a little obscured. But folks, that is a close call. I'm glad I didn't have to make it. And right now, I'm glad I'm not Lester Hayes, who's very upset and has a right to question it.
First and goal to go for Kansas City. 2 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in the game. Kansas City shut out for the first half, a chance to take the lead now. motion. Here comes the power play, and this time the Raiders are looking for it. Burgess Owens nailed Billy Jackson. That was the play that Kansas City scored the second touchdown on.
Oakland just said, you can fool me once, but you're not going to fool me twice. They've had a tendency to run it and run it effectively. You can see it didn't work this time. We're down to the 2-minute warning, and we'll be right with more pro football action after a look at today's fantastic finish.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes. 1974. John Madden and Kenny Stabler must come up with a touchdown play to beat Miami. Oakland trails by 5 as Stabler drops back. Nothing looks very promising. Stabler's being chased. He starts to run. He flings the ball forward as he falls. And Clarence Davis makes an unbelievable grab in the end zone for a 28-26 Raider victory.
Here begins a brand new life for America's favorite recyclable beverage container. The stackable, lightweight, quick chilling, unbreakable, all aluminum can. Aluminum preserves the flavor and protects the taste. Aluminum. Its recyclability assures many, many happy returns. It's America's favorite.
We can't wait for tomorrow.
This is Bryant Gumbel in New York. At Soldier Field in Chicago, the Chargers have come up empty on their first possession of the overtime. Dan Fouts going long for Charlie Joyner. Instead, Reuben Henderson comes up with it, and the Bears are back at midfield with their second possession of the OT. Score remains tied at 17. Let's go back to Merle Harmon in Oakland.
As the Kansas City Chiefs come to the line of scrimmage on a second down and goal to go, and referee Bob Frederick calls time. Defense, defense. That's what the Oakland Raider fans wanted. Look at this final score. The Dodgers beat the Yankees 2-1 to take a one-game lead in the World Series. Here comes the power play. Second and goal. Jackson and Haddon out of the running backs. At the goal line, touchdown. Billy Jackson, following James Hadnot's block, just barely got that ball across the plane, and Kansas City takes the lead with 1:57 seconds left to play in the game.
Billy Jackson scoring behind that wing formation. Beckman didn't pull this time. The people on his side of the line of scrimmage blew out the opposition. You see Matuzak being taken on by a back, and the back getting a good hit on him as Jackson takes it into the end zone. Hayes is there to greet him, but on the wrong side of the white stripe. So Kansas City takes the lead with 1:57 to go in the fourth quarter.
James Hadnot coming up with a big block there. Now Lowry for the extra point try with Fuller to hold. Lowry has it. With 1:57 seconds left to play, the Kansas City Chiefs have taken a 21-17 lead over the Oakland Raiders after the Raiders led by 17-0 at halftime. We said this has been two games, the Raiders in the first half, the Chiefs in the second half.
The Black Forest, where Porsches stretch out and run. What's a Mazda RX-7 doing here? Making a point about outstanding value in a sports car. Because while the RX-7 offers the performance, economy, and sophistication you expect in a truly fine sports car, it offers it at a price you most certainly don't expect. The more you look at some of the finest sports cars in the world, the more you like the 1982 Mazda RX-7.
The Oakland Raiders trail for the first time this afternoon. They trail Kansas City 21-17 with 1:57 seconds left as Lowry will kick off to Willis and Whittington for the Raiders. But don't count these Raiders out either. They've got a long bomber in Mark Wilson. They've got the speedy wide receivers in Cliff Branch, Bob Chandler, and Morris Bradshaw. But Kansas City, conceivably, if they can hold this lead, could conceivably take over the lead in the West if the Bears can beat the Chargers in Chicago. They are in overtime, or if that game ends in a tie in Chicago. The Raiders have been penalized 10 times for 123 yards this year. This game, rather. They feel they've been penalized much too much this year. Willis inside the 10 on the return. Right up the middle, busted out across the 25, going to about the 29-yard line. 41-yard return. Dave Klug made the tackle for Kansas City. So in penalties, you see it right there. The Chiefs 5 for 68, the Raiders 10 for 123. The reporters here in Oakland are writing that the NFL has got it in for the Raiders because of their proposed move to Los Angeles for court action and so forth. Anytime the Raiders are penalized heavily, they look to that story. Wilson to his back. Derrick Jensen at the 30, 35, 40, and out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. The clock is stopped with a minute 45 to go.
You know, the Raiders aren't out of it. Even with a young quarterback, they've got a lot of help standing on the sideline as Jensen took the ball out of bounds wisely after the first down. But Wilson can look over there and see Tom Flores, who's been through the battles and the wars before. You've got Jim Plunkett. You've got a lot of good people. Even Ray Guy, who plays 13 quarterback, can help him out in these situations. Everybody looking with interest at that young man right there, Mark Wilson.
He got 12 in the last play. What can he get on this play? That's Bob Chandler across midfield to the 48-yard line. And another first down for the Oakland Raiders on a 10-yard pickup to Bob Chandler, who has been out since the season's opener with a removal of the spleen. He's wearing a flak jacket. 5 defensive backs on the field now for Kansas City. That last play took 4 seconds. Chandler splitting wide to the left side. Going to the right is Branch. First and 10 on the Chiefs' 48. Wilson to the sideline again. This time to Whittington on the 41. Wilson is handling it like a veteran now. In his second starting assignment of the year, he got 8 yards on that one. Stopped the clock with a minute 36 to go.
This is Bryant Gumbel in New York. In Chicago, the Bears now have the best scoring opportunity of the overtime session. Chargers and Bears tied at 17. Dan Fouts over the middle comes away instead with Doug Plank, who returns it inside the 30. The Bears now with a good scoring chance. That ball game tied at 17 in an extra session. Merle?
Thank you, Brian. We'll watch it closely in Chicago. Watching it closely here in Oakland as the pass is away by Wilson. He hits Derrick Jensen. Jensen inside the 30 at the 28. The clock is running with a minute 24 seconds as Derrick Jensen, filling in for the ailing Mark Van Eegen, picks up 12 yards on that pass play as Oakland is now going to call timeout. The Raiders wanted to try to kill the clock with possibly a pass to the sideline, but now they use a timeout with the ball at the 29-yard line of the Kansas City Chiefs at a minute 15 left to play in the ball game. The executive producer of NBC's NFL Football is Don Oldmeyer. Coordinating producer, Ted Nathanson. The telecast of today's game, produced by Roy Hammerman, directed by Barry Stoddard. Technical director, Ray Figelski. Associate director, Jim Mowry. Thank you, gentlemen, for some beautiful pictures today. And here in the booth with us, our spotters are Bill Breslin and Lynn Shapiro, and Ted Reinholtz is our statistician. As Mark Wilson talks to a former Oakland quarterback and now the head coach, Tom Flores, who, by the way, has been in 3 Super Bowls. One with the Raiders as a coach, one as a player, and one as a backup quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, Len Dawson, as Marv Levy, who saw his team come from a 17-0 deficit at halftime to a 21-17 lead, now hoping that his defense can stop Oakland. The Raiders have to have a touchdown.
Well, this is what football is all about. You've got a tight situation, a minute 15 to go. The Raiders have to score. Even Art Shell, 14-year veteran, is excited. You see, the crowd's excited, too. This is the epitome of what football is about. Instances like this, and the best usually comes out.
First down to the 29 of Kansas City. Mark Wilson under a rush, but goes to the sideline to Whittington, who really takes a pop and drops the football at the 23-yard line. Lloyd Burris, the rookie from Maryland, really put a blast on Whittington as he was taking that reception, juggling the ball, did not have possession as he went to the ground.
Talk about a good hit. Wilson looking back and then to the sidelines where the safest patterns are for his receivers underneath. But a good hit by Burris jars the ball loose. And that's what you can owe it all to that right there. A fine hit by that man, number 34, Lloyd Burris.
1 minute, 8 seconds remaining in the game. Kansas City 21, Oakland 17. Oakland led at the half 17-0. They owned the first half. Kansas City has come back in the second half to move into a 4-point lead. They show the blitz. Wilson with time, going for the downs. The pattern broke down, though. Bob Chandler had cut to the post, and Mark Wilson went to the corner as D-Ron Cherry was back there and almost intercepted the pass.
When you've got a young man starting at quarterback and a receiver that's been back, just coming back after a 7-week layoff, you have two fine defensive backs back there. Wilson threw the wrong way, or Chandler broke the wrong way, one or the other. The coordination not being good could have been a very, very costly mistake.
1 minute, 2 seconds remaining. Kansas City 21, Oakland 17. Third down and 10 on the Kansas City 29. Mark Wilson in his second start of the year. Stumbles and goes down. He can still get up and throw the ball. He completes it. Did you see that? To Jensen. And Jensen is on the run. Inside the 20 at the 19. He may have the first down.
What a play.
An unbelievable Mark Wilson on the ground. Watch this.
You know, people say it's awfully hard for you to throw on your back. Sitting down, Wilson gets rid of the ball. He's untouched. He can do it. Dumps the ball off to Jensen, who makes an equally outstanding play. As we said earlier, the best usually comes out, and we're seeing some fine performances in a very crucial situation by both ball clubs.
They bring out the sticks. The crowd will tell you if they have it or not. The Chiefs want another look at that. Part of the ball. First down, Oakland at the 19. 49 seconds remaining. I have never seen a quarterback complete a pass sitting down.
Well, they say it's awfully hard to throw from your back, but sitting down, I guess it's possible.
This drive started on the Oakland 28, and in a minute and 3 seconds, Mark Wilson has the Raiders on the 19 of Kansas City. The crowd standing at the Coliseum in Oakland. 21-17 Kansas City. Mark Wilson tries to quiet the crowd. The Raiders have one timeout left. There's the time. For the end zone. Back down. Face guarding, but Jerry Blanton, the linebacker, on Ramsey, and it is a first down for the Oakland Raiders on the 1-yard line.
Defensive pass interference, number 57, in the end zone. First down.
Mark Wilson throwing a little lob pass from back in his pocket. The pass not on low trajectory. Defensive man screening with his arms up in the air. This year, that is illegal. As a result, Derek Ramsey, pass interference call against him. Ball on the 1-yard line for the Oakland Raiders.
First and goal for the Raiders. Jensen doesn't get it. The Kansas City line holds. Tremendous effort by the Kansas City Chiefs, led by Gary Spaney, the linebacker. Lloyd Burris, the strong safety. And the Raiders take their last timeout. A timeout for the Oakland Raiders with a ball at the 3-yard line. And they have a second down and goal to go. And let's go to New York for an update.
Merle, John Rivetto, a rookie kicker out of southwest Louisiana, has set the city of Chicago on fire. 5:38 left in overtime, a 26-yard field goal. Would you believe the 1-6 Bears have upset the Chargers 20-17? Merle?
No, I don't believe it, Brian.
I believe it.
The Chicago Bears, who were demolished last Monday night by the Detroit Lions, have now beaten San Diego. And if Oakland pulls this game out of the fire, San Diego, Denver, and Kansas City would have identical records of 5-3, and the Raiders would be 4-4. And could history be on the verge of repeating itself? It's a long way to go before this season is over. But remember, these Raiders, who are Super Bowl champions, didn't get off to any spectacular start last year either.
Well, no, they didn't, and they can come back. Oakland's faced with a situation, no timeouts, 2nd and goal. Look for the pass.
Here's the call. Flags go down, and so does the quarterback, Mark Wilson. It's a loose ball picked up by Kansas City. If the play holds, the Chiefs may get a touchdown out of it yet. And on his way is Gary Spaney, the linebacker from Kansas State. Let's see what the flag's about, though. It'll be a 90-yard touchdown by Spaney if the play stands. But let's see what the flag's about. It apparently is, the call is against Oakland. We'll have to wait, however. Here's Bob Frederick.
Illegal motion on the offense. Decline. Touchdown for Kansas City.
Gary Spaney, a linebacker, 90 yards on the touchdown play, and a celebration in the end zone by the Kansas City Chiefs with 24 seconds to play.
Wilson, no timeouts left. You'll see it coming up. The play fake here, semi-play fake, hit from the blind side by 51. Charles Jackson, who jars the ball loose. Spaney picks it up with a core of blockers around him. There's no way number 60, Kurt Marsh, is going to get in there. You'll have people dropping back and cutting down the pursuit. Spaney takes it 90 exhausting yards for the touchdown. But Spaney surely is a very, very happy young man as Charles Jackson celebrates with the upraised arms a Kansas City game-winning touchdown.
And so the Chiefs defense comes up with a big play again. Last week, Whitney Paul picked up a fumble recovery, went 47 yards for a touchdown against Denver, and now Spaney, a 90-yard bolt for Kansas City. Those linebackers know how to score. 24 seconds left on the clock, and Kansas City now leads Oakland 28-17. So, if, and now it almost becomes a certainty, Kansas City holds this lead, Kansas City will move into undisputed possession of first place in the Western Division of the AFC. The Chiefs would have a 6-2 record. San Diego, a loser today in Chicago, 5-3. Denver, a loser in Buffalo, also 5-3, and the Raiders would go 3-5. But what a tremendous effort by these Oakland Raiders trying to turn it around this year. After being shut out 3 games in a row, they came back to beat Tampa Bay and almost had the Chiefs going today.
Well, what a tremendous effort by the Kansas City Chiefs, being down 17 points. Having that pride and poise, 2 words that the Oakland Raiders gauge themselves by and displayed today. But having that same kind of pride and poise to come back, making the big plays, the same big plays this week they made last week against Denver, and actually winning the ball game even when it was down to the final 24 seconds. Coming up with the big plays that good teams have to make. Oakland's made them for years. Kansas City is making them again.
Kansas City beat Oakland 2 weeks ago, 27-0. The Chiefs have defeated Oakland in 4 of the last 5 games, including the last 2 in Oakland. And George, you and I were here for one of them 2 years ago, I believe.
Yes,
a wild finish.
Yes, we were. I think a missed field goal is what decided it then.
Nick Lowry to kick it off. 24 seconds remaining. He boots it on the ground. And it's finally kicked out of bounds by Chester Willis, and that's where the ball will be put in play at the 8-yard line. Quickly scores now. Buffalo beat Denver, and Washington a winner over New England. Cleveland, big win over Baltimore. Tampa Bay defeated by Philadelphia. Atlanta upset by the New York Giants. St. Louis, a big upset over the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings' second loss of the year. Detroit beat Green Bay. New Orleans upset Cincinnati. Dallas, a 1-point win over the Miami Dolphins. The New York Jets upset by Seattle. San Diego upset by the Chicago Bears. And San Francisco defeated the Los Angeles Rams. And that's the way it's gone today in the NFL.
What a week.
Raiders ball. Wilson will go upstairs to try to get what he can. Right over the middle. Completes the pass to number 33. Kenny King is running back at the 21. They have no timeouts left. The clock running down. Gary Spaney, who had the 90-yard touchdown run, made the tackle, and there will be no more plays in this ballgame. Maybe there will be. Mark Wilson wants one more out of it. 3 seconds left. This will be the final play of the ballgame. Wilson going for the bomb, throwing with it distance, and it is picked off. It is intercepted by Gary Green, and the Kansas City Chiefs bring the ball back. Green goes down on the 40-yard line. Stay tuned after these messages from your local station, where here's Boomer already in progress, except in Pacific time zones where it'll be seen at its regular time.
A promotional fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines. United serves more of this land than any other airline. That's what Friendly Skies are all about.
NBC Sports, we're proud to bring you the best in sports television.